It's got to be Todd Frey.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. An hour of anguish for the nation. I'm Lisa Brady. That's how President Trump describes the heartbreak after the deadly mid-air collision that killed 67 people in D.C., offering their families prayers and pledging to get answers, while also suggesting diversity hiring may be to blame.
In his first remarks since last night's collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army helicopter, President Trump criticized diversity hiring programs at the FAA.
They actually came out with a directive to white. And we want the people that are competent.
But the president says he's not sure an air traffic controller's mistake is to blame, saying it's unclear why the helicopter on a nighttime training flight failed to see the airliner.
The people in the helicopter should have seen where they were going.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says there was some sort of elevation issue with the helicopter that is being investigated.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer criticizing the president's remarks as conspiracy theories, describing it as stomach-turning. Helicopters in that area normally fly at a much lower altitude than the passenger jets. Search crews in the Potomac River have recovered at least 28 bodies so far. U.S. and Russian figure skaters were among those on the American Airlines flight. FBI Director nominee Kash Patel confronted during his confirmation hearing on past comments he says are taken out of context about targeting political enemies. Patel also rejecting criticism of his qualifications and mindset from Republican appointees who worked with him in the first Trump administration.
The only thing that will matter if I'm confirmed as the director of the FBI is a de-weaponized, depoliticized system of law enforcement completely devoted to rigorous obedience of the Constitution and a singular standard of justice.
A second day of confirmation hearings underway for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead Health and Human Services. America is listening to Fox News.
It's time now to throw out your overpriced big wireless contract, throw it overboard with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. You can choose a free iPhone 14 or free Samsung Galaxy. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 25 gigs of data, mobile hotspot. You get all of it. Also, they use the same 5G network. So get your free iPhone 14 or your Samsung Galaxy. You simply dial pound 250. You say the keyword SAVE NOW from Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
We are back into a wet weather pattern, but it's all in the form of rain, cloudy skies, periods of rain, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms the rest of the day. 50 for the high. Same story tonight. Rain, a couple of non-severe storms, 45. Friday, some scattered showers in the morning. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine and 53, sunny and 52. Saturday, Sunday, sunny and 62. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
At the Williams residence, everything looked kind of the same from the outside. But inside, their lives just got way happier. 3 years of inflation and debt had crushed them. But for the first time, they had the cash to secure their retirement, pay off bills, and plan their future. They didn't win the lottery exactly. They did a genius financial strategy called the Sell and Stay program from Truehold. It's easy. Their home's value had rebounded greatly, so they quickly sold it to Truehold and banked all that equity in cash. But since they weren't ready to move, they could stay put with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold even paid their property taxes, home insurance, and essential home repairs. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a Truehold offer now while your home's value is high. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
If you needed one more reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler, get this. Diamonds Direct maintains involvement in the entire diamond process and handpicks the best just for you. You see, any jeweler can claim to be a direct importer or have so-called partnerships overseas, but Diamonds Direct has special access that others simply don't have. Nobody can get closer to the source than Diamonds Direct. Indeed, Diamonds Direct is recognized in the industry as a world diamond powerhouse with unrivaled buying power and decades of inside connections that go back to their roots as actual diamond cutters. Bottom line, Diamonds Direct is without question the jeweler here that can truly offer the absolute best value. We're true talking direct importer prices on hand-selected diamonds that come straight from the source. Make no mistake, Diamonds Direct refuses to be undersold on GIA-certified diamonds. And we challenge you, let us prove it. Diamonds Direct, your source for the ultimate diamond value. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Really busy news day today, which really very tragically started last night. If you were watching the news in the evening, you noticed that, was it about in the 8 o'clock hour or so, reports started coming in of just an absolutely awful tragedy. A Black Hawk helicopter colliding with an airline jet out of Wichita, Kansas. And the worst of the fears have been confirmed that there will be no survivors from this crash. It's, the one thing that I really love about X is the breadth of information and knowledge that you get, and you can consume it as fast as it's coming. But then at the same time, the thing that you have to be, it's not that I don't like it about X, because there's no way to have one without the other. This is the way free speech works, that people can say things and react to things, and you have to be on your toes and be patient enough to consume things with a very watchful eye and a discerning ear and a discerning mindset. And when something like yesterday happens, it's not lost on me that who are of all of the people who have been confirmed in the president's cabinet, I don't even know how many of them have actually been, let's see, I'm going to pull this back up from Wikipedia because they've been updating it on at the minute. The line of succession, the people in President Trump's cabinet, you have the president, the vice president, the Speaker of the House. Those are all elected into the President Pro Tem, Chuck Grassley. That had been elected in right away. But you've got a whole bunch of people in the cabinet. They're having their hearings. We're going to talk about the Kash Patel hearing here in a bit. Tulsi Gabbard is answering questions in committee today as well. They've confirmed the Secretary of State. He's been sworn in, Marco Rubio. Scott Bessent has been in as the Secretary of Treasury. But you've got three other people: Homeland Security, which is Kristi Noem, Sean Duffy, who's the Secretary of Transportation, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. So you have a Black Hawk helicopter crashing into an airline jet the day that the Secretary of Transportation is sworn in. And I'm not saying this to insinuate that there's anything nefarious about it. I'm saying this to say, get these people in their positions so that they are able to act on behalf of the American people, especially when tragedy strikes. Rachel Campus Duffy, who has been on this show many times, she is part of the Fox and Friends Weekends crew that was side by side with Pete Hegseth for so long. Watching her stand by Sean Duffy when he's getting confirmed yesterday, I'm watching her ex feed her beautiful family, 9 children, just all the behind the scenes photographs that were coming off of her X profile yesterday. I was watching them closely because she, like I said, they have an absolutely beautiful family. She's great at capturing the moment and seeing the humanity behind a moment like that, where your husband he's been in Congress before. He's been a Fox News contributor on particular issues over the course of the last few years since he's left Congress. But now he's in the cabinet of the president of the United States. That is a momentous day. And watching your children, her youngest, Valentina, has Down syndrome, and she's just beautiful and joyful and happy. And one of her other children filmed Valentina watching her father swear in. And I mean, you cannot fit that much joy in one video. It was amazing to see. And then this accident happens. And initially on X, if you're consuming your news on X, and if you ask Elon Musk, he's saying you're the news media now. Everybody is on X when something like this happens. You might have the news on in the background, your news of choice, if you're watching Fox News like I am, or if you're consuming CNN or Newsmax or what's Cuomo on? News Nation. I'm not mad at that. I don't look for it, but I'm not mad at it. You're consuming news the old-fashioned way, but you're also ahead of the news on X. You'll see things on X that haven't been broadcast on your traditional news media because it's not confirmed hard enough for the big news media places to broadcast that quite yet. That's the day and time that we live in. And I'm watching on X the news reports coming in. Initially, they had said 4 survivors. There were not survivors.
Right.
You don't want to be on Fox News reporting that 4 survivors have been pulled and have to pull that back. But on X, those conversations are happening. And that's actually like puts you at the scene of something like this more, because those conversations come from somewhere. And then they get tested and they get debunked, and then you get the truth. And what a good news organization should do is wait for the truth to be out there. Don't be first. Be right. But knowing that we have a Secretary of Defense who gave it a press conference or a report today publicly with Pete Hegseth talking about the training session and the Black Hawk flight path and all of this stuff, that you have somebody there who can address that to the American people, and having a Secretary of Transportation who can be on scene that night, leave his family on this momentous day where it's a very huge personal moment for that family. But that's not what the job is. The job isn't a personal moment. The job is on behalf of the American people to be there and be present. It's indicative to me of how important it is that we very quickly get these people into their position so they can get to the business of the people. Donald Trump nominates them unless they are not qualified, and that's the case that they're all going to try to make. But it's always amazing to me how everything for every person that they put up there has something to do with January 6th. The Democrats are like, the first thing they say to you is, about January 6th. I posted this on X. The Democrats are so in love with January 6th, they should marry it. They can't let go of the J6 thing. And I believe firmly that America is past January 6th. You think what you think about it, and the vast majority of people think real crap day in American history for a whole variety of reasons. And I think the vast majority of Americans think, how would you say it? There were good people on both sides.
Yeah.
And that the politicization of that day is the real un-American part of what came out of it. It became a political poker chip to try to inflate it to the point where it is the only thing that matters to these people. It's the only thing that you should care about as an American citizen when you listen to the Democrats. They think it's the only thing. They think democracy died that day. And here, in the face of their pushing of the idea that democracy died on January 6th, we were so close to losing that, even with all of the mainstream news media able to pre-package and tie the pretty bow on top and serve it up to the American people, that 4 years later, the person who led the charge against the death of democracy, America, chose more than they had ever chosen before to send that guy back to fix it. to give America back to the people. They did everything they possibly could to try to take this away from you and give it to the swampy stalwarts that are in Washington, D.C., because they needed you to understand one thing, and it's January 6th. Saying that date should be enough in an exchange between two people for everybody to understand. I understand what's going on here. January 6th. America does not care about January 6th. They care about open borders. They care about prices at the grocery store and the gas pump. They care about security within their own communities. They care about making sure their children are safe from imported drugs that are trafficked across the southern border, children who are trafficked throughout our country. These are the things that Americans care about. They care about American integrity. They care about American elitism. And it's not a bad thing to say that anymore. These are the things that Americans care about. And watching Kash Patel today sit in front of this committee and watch the Cory Bookers of the world, the Dick Durbins of the world get their opportunity to grandstand and bring up these nonsense things talking about, Crossfire Hurricane. You remember that? You remember when they tried to set up the president of the United States? Do you remember when they started spying on people in the United States, even though they knew that the substance, the evidence by which they were getting the access approved to spy on Americans was baloney sausage? They knew that the whole time, and they didn't care because their ends justify the means every time on the left. That is the way they function. You are not the priority. In fact, you're not even a consideration. And they think that they can dumb all of this swamp bureaucratic protection down into your tiny little brains with your very few small brain cells that you choose to rub together every once in a while. Let's just simplify things and remember January 6th and all the stooges out in the electorate go, oh yeah, January 6th was a really bad day. That was the worst day of America. That 9/11. Shut the hole in your face. People don't believe that. I mean, it's actually absurd to suggest that at this point. It's outrageous to suggest that at this point. Stop trying to make January 6th happen. It's not going to happen. You, on the left, you pardoned your whole family, where you were selling the interests of the American people for your own personal gain and benefit. You said you weren't going to do it, but you did it anyway, and nobody bats an eye. Donald Trump campaigns on pardoning the January 6ers, and then you use it as a way to badger the people who chose to send Donald Trump into the presidency, who gave him the authority to nominate people who will get the agenda done that he promised the American people that he would do, and you're going to badger those people over the head? Keep doing it. Democrats, you are the best thing the Republicans have going right now. Don't stop. Keep going. I will make you shirts that say January 6th on it to remind everybody, everywhere you go, that it's the only thing you care about, in spite of the American people, in spite of actually getting votes. You are not listening to the American people. You are not paying attention to what the American people are saying to you. And I guess at the end, bad for the Democrats, good for the Republicans, ergo, good for the United States of America. We need these cabinet positions to be filled. The suffering that is taking place in America as they watch that helicopter and that plane collide is very traumatizing, of course, for the people who are personally related to it. But anytime something like this happens with your military, with your commercial airlines, every American goes, oof. And you think about how that could, if it could happen to them, how could it happen to you? We need competent people in charge. And the American people chose Donald Trump to pick those competent people to be in charge. You need to confirm these people, and you need to expedite the process. We're going to listen to Eric Schmidt in a little bit. Did Hans get back to you?
Not yet.
Not yet. We're going to talk to Hans about, I'm sure he's fine with this, Kash Patel, his qualifications to be FBI director, and what needs to happen at the FBI in order for the American people to gain trust in it. I mean, of all of the places, Ryan, I would think that the FBI is where we have the biggest, the Justice Department, but the FBI is where people are going, big transformational change needs to happen.
FBI, DOJ. I mean, RFK is a part of that conversation too with Health and Human Services. Are they actually looking out for the American people? Are they in bed with all the companies? But yeah, that's why this is a big week. Kash Patel is on the stand right now. Listen to a good portion of that. I don't think I've heard anything that's going to sink that ship. So we'll see.
Do you want to play a little Eric Schmidt here before we get to Hans?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's listen in. Eric Schmidt is on the committee hearing for Kash Patel, and we'll look to connect with Senator Schmidt very soon, but let's listen in a little bit to what he had to say.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's good to see you, Mr. Patel. It's great to have your family here. I know they must be very proud. I have to tell you, I saw up close and personal how politically weaponized the FBI had become. In my former job as Attorney General of Missouri, we brought the Missouri versus Biden lawsuit, which uncovered this vast censorship enterprise where the federal government coerced and colluded with some of the biggest companies in the history of the world to suppress speech. And not just that, actually to pre-bunk the Hunter Biden laptop story. The FBI had the laptop in November of 2019. They met with senior executives. Yoel Roth, who was the main guy at Twitter at the time, signed an affidavit saying they were talking specifically about the laptop. It could be Hunter Biden's, pre-bunking it, calling it a Russian hack and leak operation. They knew it was true. They knew it was his laptop. So the rot is deep, and the time for you is now, and I'm glad, because reform is needed. Senator Durbin referenced your book. I think it's a good, everyone should read the book. Because I want to ask you about some quotes that are in the book, because a lot's been made of it. Usually just some of the endnotes, but the content of the book. Did you say in the book, American justice must never be selective. If the law is applied unevenly, democracy crumbles. Did you say that?
I did, Senator.
When agencies like the FBI and the CIA prioritize politics over truth, the nation suffers. Did you say that?
I sure did, Senator.
Accountability isn't optional. Those who violate the public trust must face real consequences, regardless of their rank or title. Did you say that?
I did, Senator.
Okay. There's a lot more in there. I know that Senator Tillis has got the game of bingo. I'd like to play another game. Would you rather?
Let's have at it, sir.
Would you rather the FBI prosecute and persecute parents who voice legitimate concerns at school board meetings, or should it investigate domestic terrorists who commit school shootings and threaten the lives of American children?
Absolutely investigate and prioritize the safety of our children and any actual and real domestic terrorists, as I've prosecuted in my past in the Obama Justice Department.
Would you rather the FBI be weaponized by investigating presidential candidates, political opponents, spying on and wiretapping candidates' advisors, or should the FBI get back to its core mission and get politics out of the FBI?
There should be no politics in the FBI, and having been a victim of the weaponization of law enforcement against me, I know what that feels like, and if I'm confirmed, I will make sure no American feels that sleight of hand ever again.
Would you rather the FBI target traditional Catholics as extremists, or should the FBI focus on investigating actual threats posed to the American people by cartels pumping fentanyl into our communities through the southern border?
100,000 deaths due to fentanyl and drug overdoses in 1 year. I'd rather the FBI focus on that and save our children.
Would you rather the FBI ignore when thugs threaten to harm and plot against Supreme Court justices, or should the FBI actually investigate that and get to the bottom of it?
I'm so glad you brought that up, Senator. This body passed a law to protect our justices of the peace, including the Supreme Court, and every single justice of the peace deserves that enforcement of that law so they can do their duty.
Would you rather the FBI pressure social media companies into censoring conservative viewpoints, or should it focus on what the FBI should get back to, which is investigating interstate crimes that threaten the well-being of Americans?
No censorship. Let's focus on investigating interstate crimes.
Would you rather the FBI raid the home of a former president and chief political rival, going through the First Lady's personal belongings, spreading out documents on the floor staged, or should it raid the homes of terrorists who seek to harm citizens?
Let's let our men and women in law enforcement kick down the doors of terrorists and narco traffickers and pedophiles and put those people in prison where they belong.
So, I mean, I could go on and on. But let me tell you what I think's really going on here. What I think's going on here is that the folks on the other side can't actually believe and can't come to grips that they're in this position right now, that they're in the minority, and that President Trump is back in office. Because what they did was, after he was out of office, they tried to destroy him. They tried to financially ruin him and his family. They tried to intimidate him. They tried to throw him in jail for the rest of his life. They tried to demonize half the country. Their opening and closing argument for the last 4 years has been that President Trump and Republicans are a threat to democracy. But the American people sat in a jury box and they watched. And they weighed the evidence and they heard all the facts and they rendered their own verdict. And their verdict was for reform. They don't believe that the people who've been doing this in these positions have done a particularly good job before. They think the deck is stacked against them, and they saw how our justice system was turned against political opponents in a Soviet-style justice system, which moniker was, "Show me the man, and I'll show you the crime." And by the way, I don't think they can believe you're sitting where you're sitting at right now. But guess what? You are. And you're going to get confirmed, and you're going to lead this agency back to what it always should have been, which is to protect the American people, to fight crime, to put the bad guys in jail, not to execute a political agenda like some banana republic form of justice, where you point to the person on the other side that you want taken out and you go do that person's bidding. This country was founded on the idea that people could say what they wanted, they could believe what they want, and that the government wouldn't come after them. The government's job is not to tell you what you should think or what you can say or what you can do or what you believe. And this Justice Department under Christopher Wray and under Joe Biden and Merrick Garland has done just that. And that's why the trust has plummeted. So you got a big job. You got a big, big job. But I have all the faith in the world in you that you're going to restore that trust because you believe in the rule of law. You have an incredible personal story. You're going to get confirmed. And I wish you all the best. And you have my vote.
Oh,
thank you, Senator.
Senator Eric Schmidt, Missouri, you just do so well picking your senators. I couldn't possibly sully this with playing the Dick Durbin sound from earlier. That would make me very angry. Is he not so good? He's agreed to be my adopted senator, and I'm so happy for you, Missouri, and for the country.
Is he looking for more people that could be his constituents,
is he willing
or
to
is it just you?
more?
Either we have to be annexed or move. But
could he adopt the show?
Yeah,
Why not both?
I think it's possible.
That was great. That was really good.
Yes, I mean poetic. And watching him deliver that message, and some of these people like and then they go up and down from their paperwork. Eric Schmidt, you do you. We love it. We got to take a quick break here because Hans von Spakovsky is going to be on with us next, and we're going to talk to him about, is Kash Patel really, really qualified to be the director of the FBI? What is so different about Kash Patel that causes these Democrats to say, no, he's not qualified? Are they afraid of him? Hans is going to give us his thoughts next. Don't go away.
This is The Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Ruler RulerFoods.com. Shop at Ruler Foods not this holiday weekend. We got a weekend coming up with a big game, of course, and you're going to want to shop and get all the necessary things for that prepared. But why would you ever go somewhere else and spend more money than you have to? Ruler Foods is sitting there waiting for you. Beautiful store inside. When you walk in, you're going to see how nicely everything is organized, clean, orderly, simple to shop, and it's obvious the savings once you start walking through the aisles for the first time. My husband will message me if he stops by Ruler without me, and he'll be like, gosh, and he'll show me something and he'll be like, this is so much cheaper than the other place we might go if we're just going based on convenience. Ruler Foods is there to guide you through your shopping experience so that you can fill your cart up with the things that you need. They also carry Ruler Foods Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. Yes, they have the name brands that you know and love. You'll be overjoyed at all of the different things that you can buy there that you are saving on from the other place. But those Kroger brands, you get those at Ruler Foods for less. Find everything you need to know online at rulerfoods.com.
97.1 is excited to welcome Brian Kilmeade back to St. Louis.
Hi, everyone. Brian Kilmeade here. I have great news. I'm going to be joining all of you in St. Louis.
Be a part of this event.
March 22nd, St. Louis. You're going to love it.
Get tickets at briankilmeade.com. This is the Annie Frey Show.
Lost on the side, I've been sad with you for most of the night. Ignoring everybody here, we wish they would disappear. So maybe we could get down now. I don't wanna know if you're getting ahead of the program. I want you to
That due process must be provided without bias to all Americans. And if we cannot provide due process to the worst, then there can be no due process for anyone. And our constitutional republic fails.
We the people of the United States,
More perfect.
in order to form a more perfect union,
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Yes, Hans von Spakovsky, the right man for the job today as we watch Kash Patel on Capitol Hill in his confirmation hearing. Welcome back to the show, Hans. It's good to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Of course. I just want to give you have you been watching this morning? The hearing?
have.
Give me what your thoughts are, your top line thoughts on the hearing so far.
Well, I have to say, I guess I'm not surprised, but I'm still just, Democrats really ought to be ashamed of themselves. I mean, they're doing everything they can to attack, I think, one of the most qualified individuals to ever be nominated to be the director of the FBI. And what is it they're afraid of? Well, they apparently are afraid of the fact that he might actually reform and clean up the FBI, and they're afraid of the fact that he was one of the people who helped figure out that the whole Russian collusion investigation was a complete and total hoax. And he's doing a very good job of fighting back against that.
You know, Hans, for me, it's like watching the Democrat-Republican pepper back and forth here while Kash Patel is sitting in front of them. The Republicans are talking about Crossfire Hurricane, and they're talking about Russia, and then the Democrats get the ball, and then they start talking about January 6th. These are maybe, I don't know if they're full chapters in American history books in 20 years, but what is the importance of these two events as it is related to Kash Patel and the FBI?
Crossfire Hurricane was part of the hoax perpetrated against Donald Trump. The FBI was deeply and heavily involved in that wrongdoing of basically opening up a serious criminal investigation when they had no basis to do so, but in fact, individuals knew that they were basing it on opposition-generated research, which we now know was actually just a fantasy created by the Clinton campaign. We also know, for example, through that the FBI was caught lying, committing perjury, FBI agents, in applications made to the special secret court, remember, that authorizes electronic surveillance. And that's why the Trump campaign and people working for it were wiretapped and listened to. And, Democrats have been pounding for years. I don't think Adam Schiff has ever admitted that this whole thing was a hoax. And like I said, they're afraid of what Kash Patel may find out when he gets there, and frankly, that he may be letting go and firing FBI agents who were involved in that wrongdoing who are still working there.
Well, when it comes to January 6th, do you feel like the confirmed FBI director owes the American people, the administration, maybe Donald Trump himself, owes them anything regarding what happened that day and how it's been handled so far? Is that even in the purview of the FBI?
Yes, because, at one point, Chris Carr, who has now resigned, who was heading the FBI, admitted that there were FBI informants there, but has refused to provide any detailed information about who they were, what involvement they had, and what happened in January 6th. And that, again, is a big defect. By the way, think about this. Chris Carr, the outgoing FBI director, Democrats just loved him. What was his experience prior to becoming the FBI director? He'd been a lawyer in private practice. And here they are questioning the credentials of Kash Patel, who was a public defender, then a prosecutor with the Justice Department, then a lawyer who worked for the House Intelligence Committee, senior director of counterterrorism at the National Security Council, chief of staff for at the Department of Defense, the acting Secretary of Defense, chief of staff. I don't see how you could have somebody with more experience than that. Experience in criminal prosecution, and most importantly, people seem to forget, it's not the CIA that's in charge of counterintelligence operations in the U.S. It's the FBI. And here you have a man with experience both in criminal prosecutions, which is the main job of the FBI, but also experience in counterintelligence operations, which is the other big job of the FBI.
Hans von Spakovsky with us right now. I want to ask you a little bit more about your thoughts, your judgment on Kash Patel's qualifications to direct the FBI. Does he have the experience and the wisdom he needs to do the job?
Well, look at it this way. The U.S. Department of Defense is much bigger than the FBI. The FBI, even with all of its agents, is a tiny organization personnel-wise compared to the Department of Defense. And as I just said, he served as the chief of staff to the acting Secretary of Defense who was running the Pentagon. So, besides his actual experience as a lawyer, as a prosecutor, in counterintelligence, he actually has experience in running a huge organization with a huge staff, one that was much bigger than the FBI. So I just don't see how anybody could question his qualifications to be the head of the FBI.
Hans, this is Ryan Wiggins. A lot of America, especially those who voted for this, are asking how quickly could Kash Patel or a new head of the FBI clean up the FBI? Is it day one, or will it be a process?
Well, it will be a process, but I want everybody to think about the fact that what his boss, the person that would eventually be his ultimate boss, Donald Trump. Think about what Donald Trump has done in a week and a half. He's taken more actions to try to rectify and fix the problems in the federal government than in a week and a half than any president in our entire history. And I don't say that lightly. And I think Kash Patel would act with the same kind of speed. By the way, amongst all this criticism, people should realize that a huge group of former FBI agents, retired and others who'd left, have written a letter of support to Congress for Kash Patel, saying that he is the kind of guy that is needed to reform and clean up the FBI.
Hans, I'm watching the massive amount of executive orders come out of executive actions, proclamations. There are all these different kinds of names for these different initiatives from President Trump. Do you feel as though the kind of drinking from a fire hose that the American people are having to do with all of these actions from the president. Is this a good way for President Trump to govern, to get to where he needs to be? Is there a way to abuse that authority that the executive office has? Is he going to run into more legal trouble because of the rapid pace with which he's pushing these out?
No, I think he's doing exactly what he needs to do to try to fix the problems we have. Look, the federal government is so huge these days that trying to change it from its path is like trying to turn around a battleship, which takes it takes a lot of miles headed down the ocean path before you can get it to start turning around. So far, every executive order he's issued has been an executive order that's within the authority of the president. That's very different from the way Joe Biden was issuing executive orders when he was telling government officials to do things that he didn't have the power to do, like saying, well, I'm going to forgive all these student loans when the statute and the Supreme Court has said, well, you don't have the power to do that. That is not what has been going on with the president. And I think people actually ought to admire things he's done. Look, just one quick example. On day one, as the moment he was inaugurated, he entirely changed the Department of Homeland Security, turned it around, and had it doing what it's supposed to be doing. And you know that the number of aliens coming across the border has dropped dramatically, and they have rounded up now thousands of some of the most dangerous criminals in the country. They already got them. They've already been flying them out of the country and returning them to their native land. We just haven't seen anything like this that I can recall in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's been, as a 40-year-old myself who's been paying attention pretty closely for probably a little bit less than half of my lifetime, it's amazing to me how much Donald Trump has been able to do in this week and a half that he's been the president. And he's got 3 years and 11 months left to go.
Right.
I'm just kind of excited to see the cleanup taking place immediately, and then hopefully some of his plans and policies to actually get to the progress after the cleanup that takes place after this. So,
by the way, can I just tell you one other quick thing that shows how creative the president is? Remember, one of the things that Biden did was to close down detainer facilities. You know, these are the facilities run by DHS where if they catch an illegal alien, particularly a violent or criminal one, they're jails where they hold these aliens until they can deport them. And the Biden administration was shutting them down. Well, it takes time to reopen that. So what does the president do? He says, well, I'm opening up Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay, and I'm going to send the aliens to be held down there. So that's immediately dealing with the problem caused by the Biden administration and closing down detainer facilities. He's already got a solution to it. He's already working on it.
And he's fearless. And you hear that and you kind of go, whoa. But he's not afraid. He knows what he wants to do, and he's pushing every opportunity, every idea that he has to get it done. It's been wild. Hans, thank you for being with us today. It's good to speak with you.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky is the senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Like every day, I get it. If you're not pro-Trump, this is not good for you. This has not been good for you. I've had a handful of people reach out that are near and dear to me in my life, and I know that we are politically opposite, but our hearts are connected because we know each other's person. We know each other's heart, and we care about each other. But I do know that it is testing those people who are not in agreement on all of these policies right now. It's testing people to think, to look at the other side and be like, how can you be okay with what is taking place right now? When I see that President Trump is looking at sending these people to Gitmo, I think it's brilliant. I love the idea. I have the understanding that he's not going to get children out of schools who are not gang members, who are not criminals. And yes, children can be gang members and children can be criminals. That's how tragic this situation is. There's a difference between what the president is actually doing, what, yet again, the media is trying to spin it as, because the only thing that matters to them at the end of the day is that Donald Trump's still bad, period. There are lies being told. I'm going to be honest and say this, and this may be unpopular, but I bet if people pause and think, and you know that phrase I hate, let that sink in. I definitely think that there are corners of the Republican voting bloc that are celebrating what's taking place right now in what I would consider an unkind way. I think that you can fully support the policy and the effort by this administration to do what they're doing without fear. That you can say, yes, I support this. 100% support what the president is doing. And I think you can take that to a publicly celebratory level that could, in the long run, hinder our ability to do the whole job.
Yeah, there almost needs to be an attitude with these things of, look, it's unfortunate that we're even in this place before you start talking about the solutions. And big, bold solutions are required. Hans said it. We don't talk about it enough. The creativity within this very competent administration that we've seen so far, that we will continue to see, is impressive. They have to solve problems that people have not had to solve before, and they have to be creative in doing it. And they're bold about it.
Well, it's important to note, too, that we are in this situation. We're having to clean up these messes in such a unfortunate and sad way because of the plans that were laid in place 4 years ago, 8 to 12 to 10, whatever, long ago, where people weren't concerned about securing the border. They weren't concerned about, fixing immigration. They used it as a political ploy. Joe Biden's administration threw the doors open, and now this is what we have to do. And this is a direct result of Democrat policies on this.
I think back to what we played multiple times yesterday, and I'm going to be honest, we didn't even give it any context because it didn't deserve context. But Chuck Schumer's remarks about being aroused.
Yeah, I remember.
I know. I know. We're going to work on getting that into the show sometime, too. I should have it ready right now, but I don't. But do you know what Chuck Schumer was aroused by?
Actually, no, I don't.
Exactly. That's the point. People, we're not talking about it because it was a reaction to Donald Trump's shutting down of funding. And so much of what has been reported on what was shut down is inaccurate.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not surprising to me that Chuck Schumer would be the mouthpiece of the fetishized arousal of lies being told by a very, very beaten and battered media to try to get people away from the success that Trump is having. The word arousal was the right word for what Chuck Schumer was talking about. And it is repulsive. I'm glad he chose that word because it really speaks directly to how, when he's talking about the people in D.C. being aroused by this lie that has been peddled, it's like I don't even really need to add to it, to the point where the context should have been added to it.
Yeah,
we'll talk more about it later.
There's no reason to go to the mainstream media for anything at this point, unless you just want to be satiated and, I feel bad. They're going to give me some skewed facts that will confirm the way I already feel.
Yeah, tell me how pretty I am.
Yeah.
Oh, you're real pretty. Okay, thanks. I feel
Right.
better. Wiggins America, when we come back.
Yeah, it's really how to get past a natural disaster, how to get through if you are in the midst of, something that we've seen the last few months. What to have, what to be ready to have, that kind of stuff.
All right, that with Ryan Wiggins in studio. Brad is going to take us out of the break here. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away. Stewart's American Mortgage, the bagel loan guy, your mortgage, whether it's a new mortgage because you're buying a new home or if it's a mortgage refinance, Stewie's going to guide you through this process, and you are going to be so glad that you knew Stewart's American Mortgage, that you had Stewie's phone number in your phone, and that you called it or texted it right now to get this conversation started. Because when you buy a home, it's the biggest loan you're likely going to take out for most people. You want to make sure that you set yourself up for success. It starts with a phone call or a text message to this number I'm about to give you right now to my friend Stewie, of which I am a 2-time client of the bagel loan, and very gratefully so, because my mortgage rate is super low. I listened to my own advice back in 2020 and secured a really good financial situation for myself. You need to do the best for you as well, and it really does start with this phone call or text. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan for more information. Reach out to my friend Stewie today and just get the conversation started. NMLS number 226715.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service. Much like the human body, trees require a specific combination of nutrients to thrive. Our certified arborists can come to your property and prescribe the ideal treatment to ensure your trees and plants thrive this coming season. Check us out today at hansenstree.com and take advantage of our winter savings.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, who were you in high school? A little bit of departure of the type of question today, but your choices are, were you cool? Were you a nerd? Were you shy/a loner? Or were you a clown? Let us know. And also, just a reminder that keep listening to the show today, because we have another pair of Jason Aldean tickets to give away sometime during this show. We haven't done it yet, so stay tuned. We'll tell you when to call. 12:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Frey Show.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! All right, this is how to get past a natural disaster, really the supplies that you will need if you are in one, or what you would grab on your way out the door.
Ethan, how prepared are you? Very, somewhat, not at all.
The look on your face suggests you're not
probably
prepared,
not prepared at all.
Brad, how prepared are you?
I'd say I'm very prepared.
Ryan?
I would say less than Brad, but more than Ethan.
Can't be much less than me.
I'd say I'm over-prepared.
This list is actually what to keep in a bomb shelter.
Okay.
But it applies really to anything.
Step 1, acquire bomb shelter.
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of like, that's why I'm saying is number 1 on the list is make sure you have air. So, I think we can skip that one.
If you don't have that, don't even worry about the rest of the list.
Exactly. So, what comes to mind as necessities? I'll let you guys just popcorn them if you want, and they're probably on the list. But what comes to mind? And I'll try to hit the ones that don't.
Just walk us through the list.
Well, okay. Food and water, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are number 1 and 2. I figured you guys would hit those. But how about these? Tools.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Hand tools.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's not something I would have thought of.
Knife, hatchet, hammers. Yeah.
No power tools.
No power tools.
I mean, you can have power tools, but you better put them in a Faraday case. Go on.
Whoa.
You guys are really ready for this.
Okay, number 5 is a Faraday case.
Was it really?
No.
I know, that's advanced.
Please explain a
It
Faraday
would protect
case.
your electronics from a EMP.
Fantastic.
What's an EMP?
Electromagnetic pulse.
It's a nuclear attack that eliminates the electrical grid for everywhere it
Oh my God!
Ethan,
I'm even less prepared than I thought.
This segment is for you. I didn't realize it was.
It's a good thing it's super short.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we got like 2 minutes. So you got to have tools. That's not something I would have thought of, but very, very smart because, gosh, you don't know.
You're more prepared than Ethan, but you wouldn't have thought of tools?
No, I would have had my fudge rounds and like a whole bunch of juice boxes.
Okay.
And then I'm going.
It sounds like something my wife would say.
A lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar.
No protein.
Well, I might take some cottage cheese. Not the smartest thing, but I love it.
That's good, especially without refrigeration. Go
right.
on.
But it's like it's one of the big containers.
I would only invest in cottage cheese.
Oh, just like a bucket of it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, a bucket of cottage cheese. And man, you got to go at that like day 1 though.
Hard.
Yeah. And everybody's, I'm saying, like, family, put your face in that thing. This is going
It's
bad.
all you have to eat, but
Yeah. But we got a lot of it.
Get your calories
down.
But you have to
In
eat
the
it.
event that you're
Right.
listening to this for real advice, that is possibly the worst possible advice that we could give you.
Right.
So
Milk and eggs. Take that.
I would say
if you're still listening
you
to
get powdered
this
milk
segment,
and powdered
for,
eggs,
if you're
which
still
I have.
listening to this
No,
segment,
this
for
is good advice.
You're donezo.
No, this is really good advice. You're the person not to listen to. Number 5.
which is usually you.
I know. It's amazing. Trump comes
Yesterday
in and
was the
everything
day
changes.
I was you, not today.
Number 5 is warm clothes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What about in the middle of summer? Are you thinking about this, though?
For sure.
Right now you would.
I always have a pair of boots, pair of gloves, maybe a couple pair of gloves, and a coat in my truck. Always.
That's smart. Blanket. I always have a blanket in my car, just in case we break down the side
Is
of
it
the
your
road.
snuggie?
It's
Is it your cuddle?
well, it's the kind
cuddle
of blanket that.
It's a
tell
tag
me
blanket.
if this is a snuggie.
It's like 18 inches by 18 inches, just to make you feel comfortable.
Tiny little blanket. You
Yeah.
can put your arms through it, though.
It's a snuggie.
Is that a snuggie? Sounds like one. Number 6, batteries.
Mm-hmm.
This seems obvious, but it's not one that I would think first thing to grab.
You need a solar-powered battery charger.
Yes, a solar-powered battery charger is number 7.
No, it's not.
Faraday case.
On Annie's list.
Whatever you say, I'm just going to say it's the next one. The number 7 actually is a first aid kit.
Oh, yeah.
This seems like something that's pretty obvious. Again, I keep one of these in my car, but the problem is, I don't know if you ever run into this. I've never faced this level of natural disaster, but if we ever face something, we're on vacation or we're on a road trip, and something actually happens, I forget that this stuff is even in there. So I have it, but you're like, oh, well, I need a Band-Aid. I guess we have to go stop at Walgreens. No, it's in the car. Why don't we just use what we have? But what's your first aid kit like? Is it expansive? Is it just like one of those little ones? Do you have everything you need in there?
Tourniquets, stitching, antibiotics, Band-Aids.
Could you pull the glass out of my neck and suture it?
After I put it in your neck? It kind of depends on what I got there. Yeah.
Last one.
I don't know if I could physically do it, but I'd have the means for somebody who likes you to do it.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd ask you. I'd probably
Especially
ask
after yesterday.
anybody else.
Someone who likes you.
I could do it if I had to do it.
Okay.
Can you fix
Yeah.
my neck?
I'm bleeding. Number 8, important documents.
Mm-hmm.
This is one that you really need to grab, especially in the case of, like in the fires, we have one of those little boxes that's supposed to be fireproof, but I wouldn't want to chance it. I'm going to grab that thing on my way out the door.
You have no ability. This was on some of the prepping podcasts that I did with STS Armory. And if you want to talk to them about any type of this stuff, STS Armory, they are tops when it comes to figuring out how to be prepared in ways that you haven't thought about it. But documents, if you, for instance, had an EMP and the electric grid went out, how would you prove that you own anything?
Right.
How would you prove that this is my property? This is my house. If someone comes to take that with force, you better have force to take it back. If you need to prove something on paper, you have to have the paper or you're not going to be able to pull it up.
Now, this one is not on the list. That was the last one. But I'm going to go ahead and add firearms.
Heck yeah.
I mean,
That's
like
implied.
you just said.
Who put out this article?
This is from leatherman.com.
Well, I was
So-
going.
Is that your website, Ryan?
I think they're selling bunkers. Is
What I
they
was
do.
going to say is no matter what article or I guess who put it out, well, of course, that's why they didn't put firearms. But that sounds like a company that would put firearms on there.
Jackie says, do a plan and prep event, Annie. I wonder if at STS Armory, I bet they would. If we did an Annie Frey show, how to plan and prep class, would you all come to it? You need to come to it.
I need to
Me
come
and
to
Ethan
it.
are probably going to be in
me
their
too.
front row.
I'd be at this pace. I'm gone in 48 hours.
Gone in 60 seconds.
Maybe.
That's what the movie's about you.
What movie? There's a movie?
Gone in 60 seconds?
Wait, that's an actual movie?
Oh my
Oh
God!
my gosh, it happens
Go to
every
break!
day!
Go to break! Good, you know, so tiny young baby over there. First, we have to prepare him on movie history.
We just want you to survive,
And
Ethan.
then, have you ever heard of the apocalypse? We'll be right back.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct different, you have to understand our history. It goes back 60 years to a renowned diamond cutter overseas. From there came years of diamond cutting, manufacturing, and wholesaling, supplying exquisite fine diamonds only to high-end jewelers. Then eventually the wholesalers started selling direct to the public, and that started a revolution. Today, we are a global diamond powerhouse with hundreds of thousands of customers and an impeccable reputation. But our core values are the same as always. Our diamonds are the highest quality cut by the best craftsmen. Our prices are the most compelling. Our selection is staggering. Our warranties and guarantees are rock solid. And our people are laser focused on helping you find the diamond of your dreams. So as the story unfolds, as the revolution continues, we invite you to experience a jewelry shopping experience unlike any other. Born in excellence, rooted in determination, and thriving in passion. Diamonds Direct. Showroom hours, directions, and more online at diamondsdirect.com. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
They're pledging to get answers. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Multiple investigations underway after a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines jet collided in midair last night near D.C.'s Reagan National Airport, believed to have killed all 67 people on both aircraft. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
We are going to get to the bottom of this investigation, not in 3 years, not in 4 years, but as quickly as possible with the NTSB, who is here today, as well as the FAA. What happened yesterday shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened.
The defense secretary says the Black Hawk was on a routine training mission and appears to have had an elevation issue. President Trump calling it a day of anguish for the nation.
In moments like this, the differences between Americans fade to nothing compared to the bonds of affection and loyalty that unite us all, both as Americans and even as nations.
But the president is also singling out Biden diversity programs, accusing his predecessor of lowering hiring standards for air traffic controllers and others. A number of figure skaters, coaches, and family members were on the American Airlines flight. Retired Olympic skater Nancy Kerrigan speaking a short time ago at their skate club in Boston.
I don't come to the skating club all the time, but it was the only place I thought I should be right now.
She also used to train there. So far, more than 20 bodies recovered in the Potomac River. On Capitol Hill, the FBI director nominee Kash Patel pressed by Vermont Democratic Senator Peter Welch on whether he'd use the post to address President Trump's grievances.
He said Vice President Harris was a criminal and should be prosecuted. Is that a prosecution you would initiate?
There is no prosecution or that the FBI will ever initiate because the FBI will only do investigations, and those will only be open where there's a factual and constitutional basis to do so.
But Patel also saying some of his past comments are being taken out of context. America is listening to Fox News.
It's time now to throw out your overpriced big wireless contract, throw it overboard with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. You can choose a free iPhone 14 or free Samsung Galaxy. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 25 gigs of data, mobile hotspot. You get all of it. Also, they use the same 5G network. So get your free iPhone 14 or your Samsung Galaxy. You simply dial pound 250. You say the keyword SAVE NOW from Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
We are back into a wet weather pattern, but it's all in the form of rain, cloudy skies, periods of rain, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms the rest of the day. 50 for the high. Same story tonight. Rain, a couple of non-severe storms, 45. Friday, some scattered showers in the morning. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine at 53, sunny and 52. Saturday, Sunday, sunny and 62. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
AirComfortService.com. If you are enjoying the warmer weather while it's in, but fretting when it gets cold again, this January thaw happens all the time. You know that it's going to get cold once again, and you're worried about your furnace being able to do the job to keep you in your comfort zone. Make sure that you reach out to Air Comfort Service now and beat that cold weather once it sets back in. When you call 314-513-0091, you're getting the best in St. Louis, 55 plus years of experience of dealing with every single kind of problem out there that you can imagine. And right now, if you reach out to Air Comfort Service, you're going to understand that they have 2024 pricing available on certain things because prices are going up in 2025. Stupid new regulations. That's my opinion. Well, at least my opinion, that you're going to want to avoid that. And Air Comfort Service is working very hard to make sure that they can insulate you, no pun intended, from these rising costs, but you got to reach out to them soon. Tell them that the Annie Frey Show sent you and call 314-513-0091 or hit them up online at aircomfortservice.com.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you have a furnace that needs service, a heat pump that needs repairs, or a boiler that needs to be replaced, contact Air Comfort Service. They offer 24/7 emergency heating service too. AirComfortService.com.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Great to be with you this afternoon. It is a somber day as we continue to get reports from this very horrific crash, this Wichita, Kansas American Airlines flight that was impacted by a Black Hawk that was flying an annual training flight, and the collision last night was terrible, and it appears as though all are deceased from that. So we're sending our prayers to the families of those who are impacted directly by this and making sure that we can get some answers and potentially solutions quickly put in place to try to avoid this from happening again. I flew out of DCA last July, and I was amazed at, I guess it's, what is it, Reagan, what is it? It's DCA, but what is the, is it just Reagan National Airport? It's something else.
Ronald Reagan Washington International Airport.
Okay, so Reagan International is what they generally call it. I flew last May into Baltimore and out of Baltimore to go to D.C. with my son's class. And then last year when my husband and I went on a long weekend, we flew into Pittsburgh and then drove to D.C. and flew out of Reagan. And it was so convenient to be downtown D.C. We didn't have a car while we were in the D.C. area. Everything was public transportation. But to be able to get to Reagan and fly out, it was just such a simple thing. And that airport is tiny. You go through this little snake of TSA or whatever, and then you go through a corridor, and then you're in this massive hub, and the gates are just in a circle. There's like a bar restaurant type of thing in the middle. And I don't know, in my head I'm thinking there might be 10 gates maybe, but they're just kind of in a circle there. And I was shocked at how small it was.
Is that the main airport for Washington, D.C.?
There are a lot of ones that service the D.C. area, but that's the one that's right in the middle.
Huh.
And it was quaint. It was not, I mean, I was kind of surprised that that's the way it was set up. I'm pretty sure that I saw the majority of it, but it's considered, I think it's considered the busiest airspace, certainly in the country. And they have the shortest runway. They have one main runway, and then they have 2 additional runways that are used for like helicopters, and I think they like some smaller private planes that might land there. But the region is so complicated because there's so much no-fly zone and controlled airspace for obvious reasons. But another thing that I learned in the trip that I took specifically with the 8th grade class, because we had a tour guide for that, was the helicopter traffic that you see in Washington, D.C. It's really kind of wild because people go from the Pentagon to the Capitol or wherever they need to be. Those people are flying in helicopters from point A to point B because they're not going through D.C. traffic. Mm-hmm. That's not the way that works. So, you know, if the president is going to participate in a motorcade, D.C. just shuts down in a certain particular way for a certain particular amount of time. If you're there a lot, you realize that if the president is going to go somewhere, all of a sudden certain helicopters, Secret Service helicopters, are going to fly over. They're checking everything out. And they're doing that ahead of schedule so that the motorcade can happen. And then throughout the course of the processional, that's how that operates. But if there are 5-star generals that are going from place to place, there are just certain ways that the security operates in Washington, D.C. that is very different than what we ever experience here. So I understand. I think I have a 20% understanding of how something like this could happen. And before I went to D.C. twice last year, I would have had a 0% chance. I would say, how in the world does a Black Hawk helicopter fly into a commercial airliner? I'm grateful for the experience, and it's simply anecdotal. But the amount of air traffic and the complication of air traffic that takes place in D.C. makes this a situation where there is a lot of alternative complications and context that is just not what we're used to.
That's good to know because that's not something I've never flown into Washington, D.C. at all. I took a train into D.C. for one day for some business, and that's it. So I haven't really seen it at all. But just for context, that's all the stuff that I've been reading makes more sense now based on your description of it, because they're talking about the short runway and stuff, and you're like, well, why does it have a short runway?
It's just no space.
It's just small.
The Potomac is right there. It's right by the water. D.C. is so full. And, I mean, the airport is right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk a little bit about our scholarship because we are doing well, but we are not there yet. and I haven't mentioned it at all in the first hour, shame on me, we're trying to raise $3,000 every day, which is kind of a tall order. It's a very tall order. But I am happy to say that at the beginning of the show today, we had, let me get my text message out, $9,184 raised.
Oh, so that's right on track.
So we're on
That's
track.
Great.
But
Okay.
I just missed an hour of talking about it because we were talking about other things that are important. But today's goal would be $12,000. That's a lot. And I don't know if we're going to get to that today, but tomorrow we're celebrating National Lutheran Schools Week this week because it is National School Choice Week. And so National Lutheran Schools Week is this week. From my understanding, National Catholic Schools Week is also this week. So a lot of different kinds of I guess, non-public schools have merged together during this week to highlight what they have to offer people. And it was one of my favorite messages that I read at the end of the show yesterday was, hey, we're good, strong Catholics, but today, yay, Lutherans. It's like, oh, look at what we're doing. We're bringing people together. If you want to help us out, we're trying to raise $15,000. If you haven't heard me talking about this yet, let me give you the lay of the land. If you have, thank you for sticking with us while we continue to push this and march, hopefully, towards our goal. We are trying to raise $15,000 for an Annie Frey Show Lutheran School Scholarship. So all of this money goes into this scholarship specifically, and the money that comes out of this scholarship will help St. Louis kids attend a Lutheran school in Missouri and Illinois. The listening area of 97.1, those Lutheran schools, we've got like 37, I think, Lutheran schools in the area. I think there are 4, maybe 5 high schools, and there are a bunch of elementary schools that are part of the Lutheran Elementary School Association, LESA, Lisa. They came to me with this opportunity to do this, and I believe very strongly in school choice. I think that you should have the ability, that money that you're paying into your property taxes, and in the state of Illinois, I know it's an enormous amount, and in the state of Missouri, I bet they'd like it to be less. The amount of money that you're paying into your property taxes, I think in Illinois, I think it's like 75, maybe 80% of that money goes to education. It's an enormous amount of money. And I wish that the money that I was paying into my property taxes would follow my child, because if I'm going to pay to educate children in the community, why should my child not be allowed to benefit from that wherever they go to school? Because isn't the point to educate children? So why is it that if there is a school that I believe is right for my child, whether it's a Lutheran school or a Catholic school or a non-denomination school, like why is it that my child shouldn't be able to benefit from the property taxes that I am paying? Now, in that same regard, I'm not saying when my children no longer go to school anymore that I shouldn't have to pay property taxes to invest in an educated public. I do think property taxes should be lower, and I do believe that education spending should be smarter. But how can anybody make the case to me that my children shouldn't benefit from my tax dollars that are going into the education system? I don't know how anybody can make a rational argument against that.
Well, when people try to, it's just like a lot of Capitol Hill arguments lately. They don't really go very far. And the other thing is that they're up against the public itself. The public, regardless of whether you're Republican or Democrat, supports school choice. I mean, across the board. So, yes, there are those who are tied into the system, who are trying to protect the system. But ultimately, the argument you're making is one that people agree with.
And people will say that, if the school that you're sending your child to is including a religious affiliation to it, public tax dollars shouldn't go to fund what they will often just tail into religious indoctrination. But that's my money. You're telling me that the money that comes out of my pocket shouldn't go to my child's education in the way that I believe is best for my children, that I carried in my womb and delivered into this world, that your thoughts on my money and how it educates and how my children are educated, that you have a better knowledge of that dollar? I'm not talking about this is not the same conversation as eliminate the Department of Education. That's a different conversation. I would be willing to have that conversation. But when it comes to school choice, Like, for instance, Andy says you have the choice to send your kids to a public school, right? No, I don't have a choice. I do not have a choice to pay any of the tax dollars that I have. The choice that I have is to put them in a system that benefits because the tax dollars are there, but doesn't benefit my kids in the way I think that they are best educated. So the priority there is to preserve the money out of my pocket, not the best education for my kids. And if that's the system that we have set up, if we're not doing what is best for our children, and who knows what's best for our children more than the people who brought them into this world? It's incredibly egotistical for a system to be set up to preserve money that is stolen out of my pocket because it does not benefit me as a taxpayer in my family. If I want to send my children to a private school, a parochial school, to homeschool them, how is it that you can still lay claim while I'm taking my child out of a classroom that will be just a little bit less crowded because my children are going somewhere else? Why is it that my children should not have access to the money that I'm spending on my taxes? I don't understand it at all. And I don't care if the school that I send my children to, these Lutheran schools are accredited Lutheran schools. They're accredited schools. Their great sin, according to the government, ironically, is that they teach about Jesus, which is an investment I'm willing to make every day of the week. Which is why we are working and partnering with the Lutheran Elementary School Association, because there are people who want that more than anything for their children. But the idea of paying those high property taxes in the state of Illinois, coupled with the idea of tuition, because there's no subsidies for children to go to a school outside of the public education system because they're captive and hostages in that system. Don't upset the status quo there. In order to have those children go to that Christian school, the government gets to say, nope, not helping there. Then why the heck don't you follow the Hyde Amendment, where it says no tax dollars are supposed to go to abortion, but then you send $500 million to Planned Parenthood, and they say, oh, well, we don't use the tax dollars for abortion. We do it for birth control. Well, guess what? I don't want my property tax dollars that go into the public education system. I want them to ship on over to the Lutheran school that I send them. I want complete and total credit for the educational portion of my property taxes, and we'll use those property taxes to teach them math and science, and we'll take care of the religion part ourselves. In fact, we'll do that for free. You can't have it both ways unless you've got people who are not willing to fight the fight for it. And I'm married to a public school educator. I value a public education for children who choose that. I think that we need great teachers to teach students of all different walks of life. But I think that if a child is going to be in my husband's classroom or in any other public school classroom, their parents should want them to be specifically in that classroom. No child should ever be in a classroom because the family had no other choice. That's the only place they could send them. What kind of educational system is that? Certainly not one that's set up to benefit the child and what's best for them to thrive. So we would like to raise money for a scholarship.
Do I
make a good point?
You make a good point. And just if you happen to be a lawmaker listening, this subject of
especially a Democrat
public money going to religious schools has actually already been decided in 2022. The Supreme Court ruled in Carson versus Macon. This was Maine actually was trying to do this, and the Supreme Court said no, you can't. That the 6-3 ruling prohibited Maine from discriminating against public dollars going to religious schools, which is really in the wake of that is when the school choice movement really started to move. So
yesterday,
all that said,
Trump signed an executive order on school choice. I think we're going to talk about that in the 2 o'clock hour a little bit. Here's what I would like. I would like, it would really need to be from the state, but I would like a full tax credit for my tuition dollars up to the amount that I am paying in property taxes that goes into the education system. While my children are enrolled in an accredited school, I want a tax credit for that.
Granted.
No issues with that.
No, yeah, that's a great plan.
From what I understand,
there are a
and
lot of
from
ways
what
to
I
do
was
this,
seeing with Corey DeAngelis talking about last night on his X account, that those tax credits can go through Congress and are managed by the IRS and not the Department of Education, and therefore would potentially be outside of the purview of the areas where the teachers' unions have the most.
Somebody
grasp.
get Billy Long on the phone.
Billy!
Billy Long, are you listening?
Billy! Billy.
You love Missouri, my friend, don't you?
So that rant was sponsored by the Lutheran Elementary School Association. They might not be. I don't know. They might be
these things are
cheering or
gonna
they might be
take
going,
time.
Annie, calm down.
These things are taking time. Like you've said before, I would love to see this happen in my lifetime for my kids. Will it happen
I
for
want it
my
for my
kids?
grandkids.
We don't know. Like these things, actually, the suggestion you just made, that could happen really fast. Hopefully that does happen.
LESA, STL.org/Annie.
Yeah.
Give me $1 if you agree with me. If I were Billy Long, I would auction it off right now, but I can't.
He's also good at that. 500. You know what? We missed the whole first hour. So we need to ask a couple people if they could do 500.
Yeah.
Maybe
we need
could
big
do
dollars because
100.
I screwed it up.
Yeah, so help Annie out here. It's a good cause. It's a great cause that's close to all of our hearts. You're investing in kids right here in St. Louis, getting a Lutheran education based on Jesus Christ. It is. I can't think of a much better cause to be a part of.
Will you put on lipstick by the end of the show if we get to $15,000?
I got a challenge for you. I'll put on lipstick by the end of the show if we get to the full
15.
Follow me here. Get to the full 15 tomorrow.
You'll wear lipstick?
No, yes, but I will. I'll offer to cut your hair.
What?
Let me.
What?
Let me give you a haircut, and I'll wear lipstick. Fair?
$15,000 by the end of the show, and you're going to cut my hair, and you're going to wear lipstick?
Yeah, sure.
That's like 50%.
Or $15,000 at all. I really don't care.
Man, I got to think about that one. We're going to take a quick break here. Chairman Jason Smith is going to be with us when we come back. He's Missouri's 8th District Representative. We're going to take a super quick break and get the congressman on here in just a minute. Don't go away.
This is The Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Dittamore Group, that is the place you're going to go to list your home when you want to buy in the area, if you're looking to sell in the area. And let me remind you that for the Dittamore Group, the #1 team in the #1 office in the Metro East, when I say the area, that is, of course, everywhere in Illinois. And boy, do they go east, north, south in the state of Illinois, but they also move over west across the Mississippi River into Missouri. If you're looking to buy or sell, if you're even simply considering a move, the Dittamore Group is ready to take your phone call. 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. It's the Dittamore Group with 2 T's, 1 O, thedittamoregroup.com. You are going to be with wonderful, fun people that know how to get down to business and position your sale for the very best possible outcome. They're honest, but they're kind, and they are great at what they do. Uncompromising integrity. The Dittamore Group's reputation precedes itself. 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. thedittamoregroup.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and how about the biggest sale ever in celebration of the new year? Leave all of the 2024 dirt behind with the new year. Out the door 24. Let's start the year fresh in 2025. And here's the deal. 24% off all cleaning services for the month of January when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. If you didn't get it done last year, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of an awesome offer for 2025. Anything in your home, the carpets, the tiles, the rugs, the upholstery, every surface can be Zero Resified. So this is the time in January to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Don't forget the air ducts, too. That's really important, helps alleviate allergies or asthma, and you want to enjoy less dust, lower energy bills, and your home's going to stay cleaner longer. Take advantage. 24% off all cleaning services for the month of January when you mention 97.1 FM Talk or my name. 474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com. Don't miss this offer. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on X @AnnieFryShow.
Well, I think we're all excited to be in the same room. We're all excited to make the tax cuts permanent. All the Republicans virtually in 2017 voted for these tax cuts. Right. It was a huge boon to the economy.
Well, it's nice to hear that Congress is focused on the campaign promises that they made. That was a January 8th clip from Senator Rand Paul. But we want to make sure that this Congress, the House, with a razor-thin majority, is on task. So we go to one of our local congressmen, Jason Smith, Missouri's 8th District Representative. Congressman, thank you for being with us here today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's always great to be with you, Annie.
Thank you. I want to ask you how you're feeling right now in Congress, in the House of Representatives, the ability to cut spending. We're seeing a lot of actions on trying to pull back on unnecessary and wasteful spending, but also the forward-looking goals that you have to make sure the Trump tax cuts get taken care of and that we are resourceful with the taxpayer dollar.
First off, Annie, I like to remind my colleagues all the time that the only reason why Republicans control the White House, the House, and the Senate is because of Donald Trump and the successful policies of Donald Trump that he campaigned on. And now it's the duty of Congress to deliver on those policies. And those policies are his economic policies, making permanent the expiring provisions of his successful Trump tax cuts. No tax on tips, tax relief for seniors, overtime pay. Everyone heard what the president campaigned on it. We need to deliver on that. We also need to deliver on securing the border and making sure that we're providing the opportunity for our country to become energy independent. And we also need to cut some spending, like not just some, a lot of spending. However, it's a very razor-thin majority. We're going to have to thread the needle, but everyone's going to have to give to make sure we deliver for the American people.
Yeah, absolutely. We're speaking with Chairman Jason Smith. You were the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, and a little research here says that's the oldest tax-writing body in the United States House of Representatives, and you shape fiscal legislation, including taxes, tariffs, and social service programs. What kind of important role are you playing, and is this committee playing, in ensuring that the American people get what they voted for?
So everything comes through our committee. A lot of people don't know that the Ways and Means Committee is the oldest committee of all committees in Congress. It's also the most powerful. All of the revenues that come into the country are under the jurisdiction of our committee. So you're talking about $5 trillion that come in. There cannot be any, according to the U.S. Constitution, a tax increase or any kind of tax policy cannot originate from anywhere but the Ways and Means Committee. It cannot even originate in the Senate. So it has to come from us. All trade policy is within the Ways and Means Committee, and the president talks a lot about trade and tariffs and trade agreements and de minimis. All of Social Security is in the Ways and Means Committee, and half of Medicare and a lot of different welfare programs. So when I say it is the most powerful, it's the one that affects the lives of every single American.
Well, how are you going to ensure that spending cuts can be made, that we can watch, DOGE? I don't know what your interlocking relationship is with the DOGE initiative with this administration, that we're going to actually see less spending from our government, which is something that I think was kind of an extra treat that was added to the Republican mission in the campaign. There are a lot of things that needed to get back on track, but it was nice to see people start talking about spending less once again.
Okay, let me get to an economic point of view. If you look at the last 50 years, the revenues that came into the United States averages roughly around 17% of the GDP. And then if you look at spending over the last, 5 years, it's 26% of GDP. Think about that. 17% of revenues of GDP, 26% of GDP. However, the 20 years before that, it averaged about 20%. That's where it was for a long time. So in the last 5 years, happens to be the Biden administration, you saw spending jump to record levels, 20 to 26. So we have to cut spending. And there is money that can be cut without touching the benefits of Social Security and Medicare. The president has made it clear that he will protect the benefits for Social Security and Medicare. We're not going to touch that. But there's a lot of other efficiencies in government where we can save money. For example, think about this. Of the 2 million workers, of federal workers, 6% actually show up to work. 94% work at home. That's unacceptable. And the president has set out a priority saying if you don't show up to work, you lose your job. Maybe the size of government is way too big. I think we all know the answer to that.
Yeah.
And it's yes.
Yeah. We're speaking with Congressman Jason Smith, the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. When we saw the president, he paused some grants, some federal grants and funding. It caused everybody to go into a panic. We heard Chuck Schumer make a really weird comment yesterday about how everybody on Capitol Hill, I'll change the word, was really excited about what they were seeing, the reaction to the confusion that has set in about what Donald Trump is trying to do to really get his hands around how much spending is going where that is unnecessary. What are your thoughts on the Trump administration's methods and willingness to take action to try to find out all this wasteful spending?
I'll tell you right now, in the first 100 hours of the Trump presidency, he did more than the first 100 days of the Joe Biden presidency, because he's actually delivering for America, and he's making sure America is first at every angle. I would go after Leader Schumer and say, stop your deceiving moves to slow walking the president's appointees. Maybe if you would allow his director of OMB to be confirmed, you wouldn't have to worry about some issues. But besides that, the impoundment of funds, freezing spending to make sure that it falls in line with federal law, such as the Hatch Act saying no federal dollars can go to support abortion, that's what the law is. And that's what Trump is making sure does not happen. One example, he's making sure that federal dollars is not going to DEI within the woke form of government that Joe Biden created. And these are things that are very real. He said it's not going to affect benefits for people in Social Security, Medicare. But it's time to start freezing this crazy spending that's going out the door.
Yeah, it is. Congressman Jason Smith speaking with us right now. Before I let you go, we know that you have a budget that you need to put forward. People would like to see it be balanced. People would like to see the wasteful spending go away. President Trump talks about a big, beautiful bill. What are your thoughts there as a leader on the Republican side of the House with a very narrow majority on the Republicans' ability to get this job done?
So I completely agree with the president that we need one big, beautiful bill. That bill needs to have spending cuts, substantial spending cuts. It also needs to have permanency of his expiring provisions of the tax cuts. If it does not, every single taxpayer will face, on average, a 22% increase on their taxes, whenever they've already had the inflation tax of 21% over the last 4 years of the Biden administration. That we need to make sure we pass the legislation to completely secure our border, to do things that the president is not able to do by executive order. We need to deliver on it. We're going to have to thread that needle, but we can do it. The American people are counting on us to do it. Failure is not an option, Annie.
Congressman, do you believe that you have Democrats who believe in the extension of the permanency of these Trump tax cuts and the security of the border the way the Republicans are proposing? Will you get any bipartisan support?
I think after we have enough votes to pass it, you'll see some of their vulnerable members vote for it. That's how they always operate. They won't be the vote that puts it over the finish line, but they'll be the vote, oh, wait, it passed, so it doesn't matter. I can vote for it now.
Oh, man,
There'll be a handful of those, and those are the people that will try to paint back home that they're a moderate, but in fact, they're lockstep and key with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, I'm looking at Nikki Budzinski. She's my rep, and she does a lot of votes like that. Congressman, is Donald Trump the leader behind this? Is the Republican Party looking to him to lead, and are they willing to follow his lead?
Annie, we would not be controlling the House of Representatives or the Senate or the White House if it wasn't for Donald Trump's leadership. If my colleagues think otherwise, then I got some oceanfront property in the Ozarks to sell them, because that is not the case. He's the leader of this party, and he's the reason that we have the opportunity to take this country back and put it in the right direction.
Way to bring that phrase home, Congressman. That was good. I like that. I was all ready for Arizona, and shucks, that's why you're in Congress. You know how to do that. Well, I hope your colleagues understand that as well as you certainly do, because I think you are spot on in that assessment, and I think the Republican Party as a whole is watching very carefully to make sure that the rest of the Republicans in the House get it just as well as you do.
You can count on me reminding them quite often. We just had our member retreat over the last 3 days at Doral. I reminded them multiple times that you're not even considering developing policy without President Trump making sure that we have control of all the chambers.
Yes, amen to that. Congressman Smith, we are very grateful for your time today. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming on with us. We look forward to having you back.
Take care, Annie.
Yep, you as well. Bye-bye. Congressman Jason Smith, the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Missouri's 8th District representative there. It's good to have him on the show. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We got a little bit of an update on the fundraiser. When we come back, Lisa, stl.org/Annie. Today is favorite shirt day. And I was very happy to see somebody gave me a compliment on how I look today. And we're going to talk about this when we come back, because it was a very nice, kind gentleman, I assume, on the Annie Frey Show, and he goes, how do I say that Annie looks nice today without implying that she doesn't look nice on the other days? And I thought, that's a well thought out compliment. And when men say, oh, you look really nice today, and women go, well, what about all the other days? Men stop giving compliments, right? So thank you for that compliment. And I think it's because I'm wearing my favorite shirt. We'll talk about our favorite shirts in the 2 o'clock hour. It is Spirit Week on the Annie Frey Show. We are raising funds to get to that $15,000 mark. It's a very, very tall order, but I think together we can do it. LESA, stl.org/Annie. We're getting very close to, we're in the 9,000s, and I'm not 100% sure where the total is right now. I'll give you an update when we come back. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Lisa, stl.org/Annie to donate. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Retirement Advisory Group, online at retirementkey.com. A few spots open for tonight's Protecting Your Retirement educational event, but you got to call and let them know ahead of time that you're going to be there so they can make a space for you. They provide you a few things, too, while you're sitting there. 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. That's the number to call and to reserve your spot. You can also visit them online at retirementkey.com. When you attend this event, starts at 6:30 at the Frontenac Hilton tonight. I'm going to be there at 6, and I'm going to meet each and every one of you as I can as you're coming in, so get there early so I have the opportunity to do that. I cherish that ability to be able to get to know the people out there listening to 97.1 and hanging out with us from noon to 3 every day. Mark Cox will be there as well, and Mark Reardon hustles over from his show, his afternoon show, and it's at the Frontenac Hilton. We turn it over to Thomas Helbig and Bob and Tammy Kershaw at 6:30, and then they take maybe 45 minutes of your time and teach you the things you need to know. All of this is free. They also have snacks, which is always lovely. And then you're out and on with your evening. Get your spot reserved today at 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as a St. Louis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year?
Well, I know a quick and easy way to do it. It's a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Kind of like getting the Cliff Notes on how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hey guys, it's Dave Glover from KMOX. It's never too early. It's never too late to get control over your finances and your financial future. You can do it with a one-night class taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. They're held at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about tax saving strategies, IRA and 401k withdrawals, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. There's no cost. All you have to do is bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are still openings for this month's classes and next. So call 314-350-8110. 314-350-8110. That's my personal Dave Glover KMOX number, 314-350-8110 for Financial and Tax Architects.
Lifestyles Unlimited, the education and mentoring group with a roadmap and support to help you real estate retire.
Having the consulting team, having other avenues within your whole system is what's made y'all successful. Everyone is there to guide you to be successful. So it's just up to you to get off the butt and do it.
Do it. Take action today. Get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
It's 2025 and time to get your home zero-resified by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Take 24% off all service for this month when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Jason Aldean tickets. No, don't call now. We're going to give them away very soon, though. I'm just giving you a heads up that that's coming up pretty soon. YouTube live chat poll.
We had a meeting today about how to do great radio, and they taught us how to do a tease just like that.
They said
it's coming up soon, very soon. Not going to tell you when, but
and so that's why I did that.
In the future.
Yeah.
Just make sure you cut this for Steve.
I was just trying to do what they told me to do. They're like, Ryan, you're too specific.
Forget about that appointment listening stuff. What if I said it like 1:56?
That's too specific.
Okay, well I won't say it then.
Yeah, don't say that because that might not happen anyway.
If it doesn't happen, it's because we forgot.
Now you know what's going through my head.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the end of this next segment look like? If we remember, that's when it'll be. I'll just be
but if not,
very transparent with you.
Soon.
It'll be soon, right? So that covers it all. The YouTube live chat poll today, by the way, is who were you in high school? Cool, nerd, shy, loner, clown. Which one were you in high school? I'm sure we will discuss this poll a little bit more soon. 144. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Let's show our appreciation for local heroes. Mark Cox here. Nominate a first responder and their department could get lunch from Grill Master Tony's. I'll personally deliver it. Share their story at 971talk.com. Nominate them today.
Feeling my way through the darkness.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up.
If you were going to guess how to say this name, how would you have said it? You, Brad, you're the one who brought it up.
Well, I would have looked at this because it's AVICII, and I would have said Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. I would have said Odyssey. I would have looked at that and I would have said Buena Vista.
What?
Kissimmee.
Will somebody call us and tell us to do the giveaway at 1:56?
If you're the first caller,
call us on the hotline
at 314-241-9797. You can do the honors of reminding us to give the tickets away.
Yeah. You be the first caller to tell us to do it, and we'll give them away to the 8th caller.
Yeah.
So Ethan calling in.
Have hot fingers.
It's nice that we get to give away Jason Aldean tickets, though. That's a pretty cool get.
Yes, it is.
Today's Spirit Week, or this is Spirit Week, and today is Favorite Shirt Day, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the 2 o'clock hour. But the Lutheran Elementary School Association National Lutheran Schools Week fundraiser is moving right along, and I excited to announce we got another donation from Brannicky Hardware, and they're strong supporters of Lutheran education. So thank you to Brannicky Hardware.
Hooray.
Keep them coming. Lisa, stl.org/Annie. $15,000 by the end of tomorrow's show, and Ryan's wearing lipstick. I don't know why. I almost wonder if that's a hindrance. I don't really want you to wear lipstick.
No, I don't either. And also, it feels like you're calling me a pig, based on that idiom that people always use. Oh, you can put lipstick on a pig, but he's still a pig, even if he's super attractive and the co-host of the show.
I've never heard that idiom. Does not strike a chord with me.
No, I hear that a lot. But I will do it.
Do you ever wonder why you hear it a lot?
Well, I kind of latch on to the part where people are saying, even though he's, like everything after that clause. I'm like, oh, yeah, I listen to that. I don't like the pig part. It's just weird when people walk up to you and they call you a pig. I take offense.
I've never had that happen. I think most people just refer to me that way behind my back.
Yeah, I was in a restaurant the other day, and a lady goes, "You are a pig." And I was like, really? But I'm attractive too, right? And she was like, no.
Sounds like a bad day.
It's just super hard to compliment somebody anymore.
It is, right? It's like,
I mentioned that Chris earlier on the show said, how do I tell Annie that she looks good today without making it sound like she doesn't look good on other days?
I would say don't worry about it.
And I have two thoughts there. One is, it's interesting that he had that thought and was willing to share it. And two, do men feel super screwed when it comes to giving compliments to women? And then let me also, just as a caveat, add in here, when it's appropriate for men, who are we talking about complimenting? Because the way you compliment your wife or a good friend or something like that, if it's across genders, and officially we only have two now, so if it's across genders and you're trying to compliment a man complimenting a woman, like there's a difference between complimenting your friends or somebody you hang out with a lot if it's across genders, and complimenting a coworker or complimenting somebody who you're a little less familiar with. What's the thought process that goes on in your head when you think the nice thought about somebody? And it's not a weird thought. There's not like this. It's just you just think something nice about somebody. What happens between that thought and then deciding I'm going to deliver this message that I had in my brain, which you'd think makes somebody's day to hear said nice thing? Are men super shut down in delivering these compliments today?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you still think the thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it's all hurdles, no gas. Like, don't ever hit the gas pedal on that. Always consider every angle that you could possibly be interpreted.
You notice somebody looks lovely on a certain day or whatever, and the first question I always ask myself is how well do I know this person? Because will they take this as just what it is a compliment, you look lovely today, or will they be like, that's kind of weird, we barely ever talk, and that's what they say to me? So that's the first thing that I always look at.
Does it matter how well you know the person? Because I don't really ever want to be complimented because I'm uncomfortable with compliments. But it's not true that I don't want to be complimented. It's just that I'm not comfortable with compliments.
You don't know what to do with it. You don't mind getting them, but then you're like, socially speaking, I'm not sure what I say here.
My natural reaction is to do the annoying thing where you disagree with the compliment.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's not the intention of an honest compliment. It feels, if you say, Annie, you look really nice today, there's a part of me that if I'm like, oh, thank you, that feels like, oh, so you think you look nice today. and I don't want to be that person ever. I don't ever want to be the person who's like my biggest cheerleader. I don't want to be that. And I also have forged myself into not needing other people and their affirmation to feel qualified in the areas of my life where it matters, which is kind of weird because I work by ratings. Well, sort of.
It's a weird, the one aspect of that I've always thought was weird, and I don't think people intend this when they say it, is when somebody calls themselves a hot mess. I'm like, you're calling yourself hot.
Actually, you're more of just a mess.
Yeah. And I don't know if they mean hot mess. I think we've discussed this before because now I say it. I think what Brad said last time I said that was that, no, you're not saying you're hot. You're saying you are like a dog's hot mess. Like that you are just some crap.
A steaming pile.
A steaming pile. But I always interpret it the other way. But yes, complimenting a woman, especially me, I put my foot in my mouth like multiple times per hour. So I don't necessarily try it at all. Like I don't ever say anything to a woman because I know that it'll probably be interpreted poorly.
Gary says, as a 73-year-old man, I am now very cautious about complimenting any woman, especially in the last 4 years, because I don't want to go to jail for a sexist crime.
Especially in the workplace.
That's extreme.
Yeah.
But is it, I mean, it's an extreme reality, but is it reality?
Yeah, what sucks is that because 95% of the time, if you do that, it's not only fine, but people appreciate it. It's the 5% that you're like, well, if it falls within that tiny little category, then I'm really in trouble. So you just don't do it.
I wonder how many women wish that they were complimented more by men who are not their man.
It probably depends on the man, too. Because some dudes are skeezy, and some dudes are not. And it all depends on the
As a dude,
presentation.
as Ryan, you are not a skeezy dude.
I wouldn't think so.
That's the nicest thing I've ever said to you.
I'm going to hold on to that.
How quickly do you detect skeezy dudes?
Not as quickly as a woman, but I can detect it. It's there. If you're like real slick.
When they start hitting on you?
Well, that's one way. But you can just tell if a guy is trying to sort of sell himself to you.
We just talked about this yesterday. I don't know if it was, I don't remember the context we were talking about it. Oh, it was high school. Like in high school, I feel like a lot of guys that are very flirtatious and trying to get girls' attention, more often than not, and I'm not even saying this is particularly a bad thing. I think it's a biological thing. They're most of the time trying to see if their efforts will be responded to in a neutral to positive way. So women, or specifically girls of that age, if that happens, it's a more meaningful experience for the female, I think, than it is the male, and I think that's biology. Once you get out of that more hormonally driven time in your life and you've matured and evolved a little bit more, that's, to me, like when I was dating, and I dated a bit, and if I was in a bar or out with friends or whatever, I could very quickly determine if the guy was interested in me or was interested in me being interested in him.
Yeah,
and
I
it is a very different approach.
Yep. And
I don't know. That's like the first thing I try to figure out about people is what are you trying to do here? To quote White Christmas and Bing Crosby, everybody's got an angle.
If you want to win Jason Aldean tickets.
It's not time yet.
Oh, shoot. It's too early?
Fine, go. It's your show.
If you want to win Jason Aldean tickets.
40 seconds.
Then stay tuned. No, we'll do it now. I'm just kidding. 314-241-9797.
What about the people who waited for 156? Like Ethan.
We told them.
What?
We told them we weren't sure.
What caller?
So it's on you. Caller number 7, 314-241-9797.
Maybe he won't answer him until 156.
Yeah, we'll just sort of we'll talk
What caller
very
number?
slowly. Call number 7.
7?
He'll be at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
All right, now sing us a Jason Aldean song.
On July 19th. Jason Aldean sings, I was born in a small town, grew up in a small town.
Does he?
Yep.
He sings that one song he got in trouble for singing.
Yeah, it's about small towns.
That's not it,
I
though.
was born in a small town.
I think that's like
Try That in a
Bruce
Small Town.
Springsteen or something.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
John Cougar. Whatever, they're all the same. Try that in a small town.
Try that in a small town.
Yes.
No pink houses.
No.
No?
There are no pink houses. That's not it. This
Okay.
is false advertising.
Look, if Jason Aldean plays that song on July 19th, you heard it here first.
Brian, It's not that nobody listens to the
Caller
show.
number 7.
But nobody who you think listens to the show listens to the show. Sometimes I don't even know if you listen to the show.
I don't know what's happening. What?
LESA.STL.org/Annie. Please help us get to our goal. We'll be right back.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesiderd.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis, and they get paid instantly. This is 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly. Freedom Care has over 7,000 5-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's free to you through Medicaid, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-597-1749, 314-597-1749, 314-597-1749.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
They don't know yet how it happened. Lisa Brady, Fox News. But several federal agencies are investigating last night's deadly crash near D.C.
The president is promising a swift investigation into the midair collision of an American Airlines jet and Army helicopter near Washington's Reagan National Airport.
We'll find out how this disaster occurred and we'll ensure that nothing like this ever happens again.
While acknowledging the cause of the collision is still being reviewed, President Trump did say he believes diversity initiatives at the FAA have not hired the most qualified employees.
For some jobs, and not only this, but air traffic controllers, they have to be at the highest level of genius.
The president also said the crew of the Army Black Hawk helicopter should have seen the commercial jet.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. 64 people on the American Airlines flight and 3 soldiers on the helicopter were killed. Search crews in the Potomac River recovering at least 28 bodies so far. Confirmation hearings on Capitol Hill with FBI Director nominee Kash Patel facing the Senate Judiciary Committee, where Republicans say he's needed to clean up the FBI. Committee Chair Chuck Grassley.
Mr. Patel's career has been a study in fighting unpopular but righteous causes exposing corruption.
But Democrats say he doesn't have the experience or judgment needed, questioning his past comments about targeting political enemies and pointing to President Trump's recent pardon of Capitol rioters. Patel says what matters at the FBI is following the law.
As for January 6th, I have repeatedly, often, publicly, and privately said there can never be a tolerance for violence against law enforcement.
Day 2 of hearings for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with the health secretary nominee again facing repeated questions about vaccine criticisms. America is listening to Fox News.
It's time now to throw out your overpriced big wireless contract, throw it overboard with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. You can choose a free iPhone 14 or free Samsung Galaxy. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 25 gigs of data, mobile hotspot. You get all of it. Also, they use the same 5G network. So get your free iPhone 14 or your Samsung Galaxy. You simply dial pound 250. You say the keyword SAVE NOW. From Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms of
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
We are back into a wet weather pattern, but it's all in the form of rain. Cloudy skies, periods of rain, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms the rest of the day. 50 for the high. Same story tonight. Rain, a couple of non-severe storms, 45. Friday, some scattered showers in the morning. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine at 53, sunny and 52. Saturday, Sunday, sunny and 62. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years. Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO. Easy to remember phone number. Or go online today at 877-25-RHINO.com. January is a great time to practice your 2A skills at the Range St. Louis West, the only NSSF 5-star shooting range in St. Louis County. Right now, you have a chance to win a custom range-themed hockey jersey and a pair of tickets to a Blues game by playing their Shoots and Scores promo all this month. Go visit them at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin. You can shop online anytime at therangestl.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. I'll see you at the range.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? I know a quick and easy way to do this. It's a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. It's kind of like getting the Cliff Notes on how you can make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hey, it's Dave Glover from KMOX. This one-night class is taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. They're held at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about tax saving strategies, IRA and 401k withdrawals, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. There's no cost. Just bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are still openings for the classes this month and next, so call 314-350-8110. 314-350-8110. That's my personal number, 314-350-8110 for Financial and Tax Architects.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Simple Minds is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater on June 5th.
Don't you forget about
Want to go for free? Listen to The Mark Reardon Show this week from 3 to 6. We're giving away a pair of tickets every day.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We are celebrating National School Choice Week this week. We've had a lot of conversations about school choice this week, and so we are excited to have the opportunity with our partnership with the Lutheran Elementary School Association. We're establishing a scholarship to help area kids access a Lutheran education. And if we get to our $15,000 mark tomorrow, we're going to get a $10,000 match on it, which is the really exciting. That's why the $15,000 mark. I said this before. I'm going to repeat it for people who are just tuning in at their convenience. But I think the initial number they gave us was a $5,000 scholarship. That's what or $5,000 towards a scholarship that we could build upon. And I was like, gosh, I think we can do more than that. And so they said, well, if you can get to $15,000, we can get a $10,000 match. And I was like, well, let's try for that. And the last number that I had that I mentioned a little bit earlier in the show is we're at like 92, maybe 9,300. We're trying to do 20% every day. So that would mean today we would need to get to $12,000. I don't know if that's going to happen today, with the ultimate goal being 15, but it'd be great if we could get over 10.
Yeah, and 15 is important because Annie agreed wholeheartedly in the 1 o'clock hour that if we got to 15, no matter when it was,
that you would wear lipstick.
that I could cut her hair however I want.
I didn't agree to that.
Yeah.
I have no memory
Ryan,
of that.
I thought it was extremely generous of you to say during the break that you were the one that was going to be matching it and putting it in all of that money.
No, my generosity actually comes from being able to put my time into being a hairdresser for 5 minutes.
Oh, so is there any preparation?
You're going to
for
spend
that?
5 minutes?
So wait.
A, I didn't agree to this. B, if I agreed to it, you would spend 5 minutes giving me a haircut?
5 whole minutes. And you could start the clock, and I would go the whole time. At the end of it, you would have something that I would refer to as a flat top.
What? Did not agree to that.
Yeah. Well, we can roll the tape and find it because it is there.
You can listen to the podcast in the Odyssey app, AUDACY. And you can also go to AnnieFreyShow.com/podcast and hear. I did not agree to that.
But you are now.
No.
It seems to me
top?
like you're really open to the idea, though.
I'm just trying to picture what a flat top would even look like on
it. Would be high. Like it's not like a short flat top. It would be way up.
How much
like
hairspray
Vanilla
would
Ice?
need to be used?
Yeah, like Vanilla Ice. Exactly. And you can wear the Vanilla Ice coat and shirt and whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me. To me, it's the hair. And that's what we're going to do.
I did not agree to that.
Even if it's not that exact thing, I'll cut your hair. I
didn't, and I don't appreciate how generous you're portraying yourself as if you're providing me some service that's really going to help me.
Let's do the one where you just shave it on the sides. That's real popular right now, and it's long on top. Is that called a faux hawk, or no? There's a name for that, but I think that would look cool.
Bad.
It's really
The
in
name
right
is
now
bad.
too. It's really in. No, look.
Oh, yeah, let me go to you for the trends. What are the kids saying these days?
I guarantee you at some point in the
That would be
last
a
5 years, I've
very
done a Wiggins
skibbity
America
haircut.
on
Ohio.
fashion.
Ryan, your hair's kind of the opposite of that, of the long on the top and
This
short
is
on the
not,
sides.
and look.
Yeah, his hair's on the side, not on the top.
Annie could cut mine. I don't even care.
Both of them.
Yeah, Annie could cut mine, I'll cut hers.
Annie,
that
does
seems
that
like a fair
sweeten
deal.
this deal anymore?
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't mind that because
What
you
if it
can trim up
includes
around the ears.
What if it includes the beard?
Ooh, I don't know. I'd have to
You know,
think
could
about
you like
that.
do some designs in the beard or
lightning
something?
bolts.
I don't know if I could physically do the designs. I'd be willing to try.
Do you think that he is realistically able to cut your hair and it look nice?
No.
Okay, so this matches up perfectly then.
At least
Ethan
try
over
to make
making
it look
deals.
like whatever you're going for. Like if it's you're like, oh, I'm gonna
Me
give
to
you.
you or you to me?
If you're gonna carve a Mario mushroom into my beard or something.
This is the weirdest thing to think of.
Yeah, why did that
Why
come to
is that
mind?
sitting at the front of your brain?
Well, I don't want to just get a star. You know, hey, look at my beard.
I don't want a star.
My
I'd
co-host.
rather have a mushroom.
I'm on the radio, and the host carved a star into my beard.
The radio star. You could be the radio star.
Ooh, yeah, we could be like, video killed me.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is going to be great because I'm going to cut Annie's hair.
I didn't agree to that.
Well,
You said flat top.
kind of did.
You said flat top.
I'm suggesting flat top. The haircut thing is a done deal.
You think
what
it
type,
is not a
what
done
type
deal.
it is what is up for question.
What language was used to make you think that Annie agreed to this?
What kind of donation would it take to get Annie to agree to this?
That's a better question than Ethan's. Ethan's question, by comparison,
Is there a dollar
was
amount
bad.
here?
I'm trying to get
So
the
we've
juices
agreed on
flowing
terms.
in Ryan Wiggins' brain.
We've agreed on terms. Now it's just a matter of price.
I would say right now,
No,
it's.
I'm not asking you.
Oh, okay.
Annie?
What's
The
the,
gears
question?
are turning.
I'm getting shorter here. I can feel myself sinking
is there
into my
a
seat.
dollar amount for a donation that would allow you, or you would allow Ryan to cut your hair?
This is the threshold we're on, and now you have to answer the question.
For the record, I did not agree to this before Brad asked me this question.
Strictly hypothetical.
Ethan asked his question first, and I didn't agree. Ryan is full of crap.
I was told it was a bad question.
Ryan is, by Ryan. He doesn't even pay attention. I did not agree to this, to Ethan's question. So when Ethan asks Ryan, what did I say? I didn't say anything that agreed to it. And Brad, I would say if we met our goal at $15,000, I'd let him cut my hair.
Wow.
See, you just heard
But
that.
it has to be by tomorrow
You
at
just
3.
heard that.
And you have to promise me that you're not going to try to ruin my life. You're going to have scissors to my hair.
That kind of sours the deal a little bit.
Wow. No, it doesn't.
No, and look, ruin your life is in the eye of the beholder.
Mine, my
Because,
eye.
yeah, your
I am
eyes-
said beholder.
She is the beholder.
Yeah, in my mind's eye, you have a flat top.
Would you? Well, see, it's hard to commit.
A big flat top. And you could
I wish there were more women in this room.
you could run into walls with it and it wouldn't even hurt you. That's how much hairspray.
Tim?
Or you can make it pointy.
Tim Walls?
Watching her leave the studio with that hairspray.
Uh-huh.
Have to duck on out of there.
What would be really weird is if I did all that and she walked out and ran into Tim Walls. Like, what are the chances?
What do the people think?
I don't know. Mad Scientist says shave your head.
No. No.
I
Me,
think he's
shave your
talking to
head.
you.
Yeah, that sounds rude. I wouldn't do that. You know what I would do, though? You ever seen Pippi Longstockings?
God, yes, she has hair. For the
Uh-huh.
record, it's not flat top.
That would be fun to do.
It's just braids.
Yeah, but they stick out. They stick out in a way. There we go. Or we can do Vanilla Ice. Who just pulled up Vanilla Ice? Thank you, Ethan. Look
this
at the
coat.
patriotism of the coat. Wear that coat.
Little fun fact in the Annie Fry Show: Vanilla Ice follows Annie Fry Show on X.
Yep.
Oh, we could really make this into something.
Just imagine he's scrolling right now. Sees your live.
Kate says, "Annie, don't do it."
Look
Kate,
at that hair.
It's
Lauren wants to know if we take credit cards. Well,
Yes.
yes, we do.
Yes,
Go
we
to
do.
lisastl.org/Annie. I wonder if I stall. If we can get to 15 real quick before 2:20 and I don't have to commit. It doesn't count.
You would look just like, after my 5 minutes,
I
you would
don't
look
want
just
to
like
look
Vanilla
like
Ice.
Vanilla Ice. That's not a
Because I've got a
persuasion
shirt
here.
that's similar to that coat, plus you wear a cross necklace already. You'd look identical. All you have to do is look a little serious like he is in that picture. And look kind of off. Is that on Saturday Night
What about
Live?
the eyebrow?
He's a really strong, like,
You're gonna shave the eyebrow
large
too?
neck.
Yeah, dude was ripped. He's kind of a big guy. I'm just saying there are a lot of ways we could go with this, and it's all for such a good cause. Are you kidding me? So I'm glad to hear that you have agreed at least to the haircut.
I
part.
didn't. I didn't.
Yes, you
Didn't.
did. You
I
said
did not.
it was 15,000 by 3 o'clock tomorrow.
JB
That
says
was-
Annie Ryan is a con.
Yeah. That was just the price, hypothetically.
Oh, she did. That was
That
just
was
a
not an
hypothetical.
agreement. That's the hypothetical.
So the hypothetical matches our actual goal.
Lauren says, what does Ryan look like without the beard? What if you shave your beard and I let you cut my hair? But you have to be... You can't cut it. Oh, you can't cut it a lot. You could trim.
Your hair? Or my beard?
Yes.
No, you have to cut all the beard.
You have to shave your beard.
What?
You can. I will let you choose to leave just the mustache if you want.
Now we're talking.
That's
I
super
like
in
this.
right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can you leave the sides too?
We're
Get
not
the
shaving eyebrows, Kenny. Stop that.
No, I'm not
Fu
shaving eyebrows. Ooh, man. Well, if you'll agree to the haircut, then I'll agree to shaving everything but the mustache. I'll do it.
So
This is amazing.
So
It has to be $15,000 by the end of the show tomorrow.
Yeah, by 3.
I don't think it's going to happen, so I will agree.
So let's just make sure we know what we're agreeing. Let's make sure we know what we're agreeing to here. Annie is agreeing to have Ryan trim her hair.
Yes.
And buy lunch.
And
by trim, we mean no more than...
What, an inch?
He can take an inch off my hair.
An inch. And then...
Can I take it off the top?
What about that inch between your scalp?
Yeah.
Like an inch from your scalp?
Can I
Then you can
decide
have
which
the
inch?
rest.
Yeah. No? Okay.
And then...
Okay, and then this is the other. I want to add a caveat.
Oh, okay.
First finish yours.
Oh, and then you get to shave Ryan Wiggins' beard and leave only the mustache.
I will let him shave his beard, but the beard has to be shaved. I don't want to shave him.
I don't want to shave myself.
Bet you didn't have that on your bingo card.
How does that make you feel,
I
Ryan?
actually need a haircut, so
I don't want to shave him.
if you wouldn't mind just doing that for me, it'd save me $10.
I don't know. I don't really want to touch you.
So what's the caveat?
Tomorrow's poll we'll put up if we get the goal, should Annie let Ryan cut her hair? And if it's one vote more, yes. So the people have to vote in the poll, yes, and we have to get to 15,000. Because there are people saying right now that I shouldn't do it.
So you're saying getting to 15 grand is the first goal, and then the people's approval.
If we don't meet our goal,
is
it doesn't
next.
matter.
Sure.
What is it that Elon says? Vox Populi?
Populite, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how that is associated
Yeah,
with this.
Well, if we need Latin, and it was always Brad who knows the Latin.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the Hebrew and the Greek
The
and all
voice
of
of
that.
the people is the voice of God.
So I think we should make it so that we allow, if the people think it's a bad idea and they want to bail me out, maybe they can bail us out. But we'd have to get to 15,000. And then if we have, it's majority rules on the poll tomorrow. If we get to our goal of $15,000 at lisastl.org/Annie, you can trim my hair and you have to shave your beard.
Extra caveat, no lipstick then. Shave beard, yes.
Lipstick,
no lipstick
on, I don't want you to
Lipstick's
touch my
gone.
lipstick anyway.
Good.
Do we have a deal?
We have a deal.
We have a deal.
We have to get to 15,000. So
terms are acceptable.
I don't know that
It seems as if it's going to be a tough climb.
we are at like 9,500 right now. I don't have an exact number. Info Dude says, I don't think that's a good idea. We'll show up tomorrow and vote against it if you
Yeah,
don't think
vote
it's a good
against
idea.
it.
Yes.
Because if we hit the goal and you all vote against it, we've
Just
all won.
And I'm just telling him he can just trim it. He can just trim it.
Uh-huh.
And you're agreeing.
But I can trim it with hedge trimmers.
No, I will
Not
I will
scissors.
provide the scissors.
Fine.
Ryan, a win's a win.
And
I know, I'll
you're,
take it.
You're agreeing
Yeah.
an inch off the bottom of my hair
Okay.
that's on my head.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. I'm agreeing.
And I'm going to say you have to shave your beard, but you have to do it.
Captain Planet says make Annie's hair look like Hillary Clinton.
I agree.
Rude.
Yep. And give me the Rachel.
Russell, you can have what you cut off of my hair and just do what Ethan did yesterday and scotch tape some of that up there.
Now that's cross. Now people are like, me and Ryan's kind of a weird guy. They'd look for an example. They say, oh, he just says kind of weird things. They'd always point to, well, he cut off Annie's hair and then pasted it onto his face.
Nobody talk about dog food anymore.
Hey,
yeah, well, that's true.
Ethan, will you notify your mother
Yes.
that I might have to, pay extra for an
Just
emergency
Book an appointment. Let's just
hair.
get it done now.
All right. I mean, y'all know the drill. None of this happens if we don't get to $15,000, and I will do that for the children.
Mm-hmm.
Not for you, Ryan. It's
What's
for the
amazing
kids.
is that some kid somewhere is going to be like, I got to go to a Lutheran school and it really changed my faith walk with Christ because this radio show decided to cut each other's hair.
Shave a mustache.
You see that guy's beard? That's why I'm here in 6th grade.
That's
learning
how
about
Jesus got to me. Hey, I don't care. I'm not mad about that. Not at all. All right. You have to go to Lisa. I mean, seriously, if you were thinking about donating and you want to see this happen, maybe this is where you donate your $5. We can make it with small donations, just like the Republican Party did and get Donald Trump back. It's not the same.
And we won't keep texting you.
You know, all those fake toll road things, those are actually just fake links to It's not true.
The greatest scam of all time.
Lisa, LESA.STL.org/Annie. We've had kind of a slow day because we have not promoted it as much as we traditionally do. A lot of news. Lisa, STL.org/Annie. Libby comments, come on, Annie, people shave their head for cancer. That's right. I have somebody who, a friend of mine, a classmate, who does the St. Baldrick's thing every year, and she's amazing at it, and I'm so impressed by it. I can let Ryan shave his beard, and trim my hair if we get to this goal. Lisa with an E, STL.org/Annie. If you got $5 or $10 to spare, leave a comment. We'll read your comments as well on the air from people who make donations. Quick break. Annie, are you okay? Annie is unsure about this right now, but we'll get Trish in here for Annie. Are you okay?
I can't believe this worked. I can't believe that worked.
Did you plan all that out?
Yes.
Absolutely not. All right. Trisha, we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. We want to make sure that you have access to the best possible situation for your mortgage, and that starts with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440 is the number to reach Stewie, Stuart Rosenblum, directly. He is an expert at making sure that you have the best possible situation set up for you and this big monthly payment that you're going to make on a mortgage that's 30 years long, 15, 10, 20, whatever. One of the things that people tend to do with a bagel loan, since you pay nothing to refinance, is maybe you got a 30-year mortgage a couple years ago. The rates were super high. Rates have come down a little bit. You're in a good financial place right now, so maybe you can cut that down to 25 years, 20 years, or whatever it might be. Your payment doesn't change that much, and the amount of interest that you don't have to pay over the course of that time goes down significantly. These are different ways that Stewie can help you maximize your dollar when it comes to your mortgage situation. He's looking out for you. He has for me twice already. Reach out to him at 314-324-4440. No closing costs with the bagel loan. Google bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, Audacy. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Well, I'm not one to break promises either, and I think I was just entrapped by Ryan Wiggins.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was illegal, but it's still going to happen.
But it's binding.
Yeah.
Are you prepared? Have you ever cut someone's hair before?
Nope.
Like a woman's hair? No experience?
Nope, never done it. Don't have any desire to do it, except the reason I want to do it is because I haven't.
I think I'm going to give you a piece of paper and show me, like, cut an inch off the bottom of this piece of paper.
Just so you know that I know what an inch is.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't you dare. I don't even. Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right.
And
I will
the
need
segment's
practice.
over. Before it even got started.
I will need to find out because I don't know. I have no idea.
I saw that coming from a mile away. I was like, she's going to say it, and Ryan's going to say it, then be like, oh.
I don't know.
She's not coming back from that, folks.
I don't know. You know what you could do, Annie? On the live stream, pull up a video.
I'm done.
And just let people see, like, what it is.
She gone.
Yeah, she's gone.
I made a choice.
Yeah, you
It
know.
was the right one.
No.
You.
I don't think you've made a good choice in this hour.
It's not wrong.
I'm not telling you ahead of time. That was a bad choice to let me do this. But we will do it.
Just an inch.
If it happens on the air, and it's
One
real.
single inch. Let's see if Ryan knows what that looks like.
Yeah. Do you even know what an inch is? Can you practice on this paper? I do. I think I know.
There's so many funny things to say that I can't. We're all thinking it. We should have it.
I like that the premise of that, like, innuendo aside, was, do you understand a unit of measurement that's super common?
That is what's funny about that.
like what? I only use metric. I had no idea what an inch was until now. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I think Annie left.
It's incredible. What is this American system of measurements?
Use metric. You get more numbers, bigger numbers. It's fine.
Yeah.
Bigger numbers is what you want.
I thought I was agreeing to cut off a kilometer. just let her have a moment and see how long it takes.
This is the easiest, Annie. Are you okay?
Oh,
Lisa, LESASTL.org/Annie. If
she's
you're
just playing the old hits now.
willing to find out with me how big Ryan believes in it.
Way to tie in.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? You're giving me
Fundraising for a
license
Lutheran
now to be like, oh, I thought that's what an inch was. Cutting it up like above your ears.
This is the second time I've had to cover my face.
You know what I'm going to give you? You ever seen John and Kate plus 8? The Kate. That's what you're going to get.
False.
And you,
People have to donate to $15,000 by 3 p.m. tomorrow. I think we're good. I think we're inching towards
Ryan style,
inching towards like
or
again,
average.
Like even when you say it, I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Does that mean we're moving forward,
Huge.
fast,
Just
or
massive.
slow? I don't know.
Yeah, massive. It's making leaps and bounds.
I really don't know. I'll practice. ahead of time.
You ready, Brad?
Yeah.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Woo! Man who ate only cheese, beef, and sticks of butter for 8 months suffers
Right?
shocking side effect.
I can already tell you how the story ends.
Yeah.
A 40-year-old Florida man arrived at a Tampa hospital with a yellowish ooze emanating from his palms, elbows, and the soles of his feet.
Again, I could have told you.
He told doctors that he had adopted a carnivore diet for the past 8 months and explained his daily intake of food consisted of full sticks of butter, 6 to 9 pounds of cheese, and hamburger patties. The diet is gaining popularity in fitness circles.
Wait a minute.
That is not the carnivore
Wait. How does the cheese and the butter were oozing out of his hands?
I'll explain.
Okay.
Hang tight. The diet is gaining popularity in fitness circles. People claim that the pure protein lifestyle helps shed weight and improve cognitive function.
I'm sure
according
that's
to this
true.
article
You
and
should try
according
it,
to this guy.
Ryan.
Apparently, the diet caused an outrageously high total cholesterol level, leading to a condition where excess lipids ooze from blood vessels
I'm gonna
and
vomit.
form localized lipid deposits. Ryan,
Excess lipids.
excess.
Oh.
That's what they always say. You got to watch on the carnivore diet for your lipids. If your lipids are too high, they say go ahead and eat a couple of asparagus.
Yeah, no veggies in this diet.
That is wild.
Annie, are you okay with eating sticks of butter?
No.
I don't really.
Does
I
it
don't
look
have
like
anything.
I'm okay with
The
eating
sto-
sticks of butter?
After hearing that story,
itself was
especially.
shocking
Not
enough.
Yeah.
Annie, you look like someone who eats sticks of butter.
How often are you eating full sticks of butter, and can you defend it?
Would you do it if we got to the goal today? I'll cut your hair
Fine.
while you eat the full stick of
No,
butter.
I will draw the line right there. I'd let you shave my head before I'd eat a full stick of butter. I can't eat butter plain. Some people can eat plain butter.
I used to as
Can
a
you?
kid.
Can you eat plain butter?
No.
Really?
Not really. I don't know that I've tried.
I don't think
it's
that
not
it's.
appealing.
I think it's a more common thing for people to be able to just eat. I don't think that they eat sticks of butter, but if they're making stuff or whatever, they might just eat the butter.
Now, I can eat
no.
just cheese all day.
Me too.
Just hamburger,
Mm-hmm.
but not just butter.
No, I'm
How
not
are you
a
going to get your
solo
lipids
butter.
up to a level where they ooze?
Right. You gotta keep a port
Oh.
on at all times and check your lipids
Oh.
as you're eating.
We're done. Next one.
City employee injured after a reported toilet explosion.
Good thing we moved to this one.
Gifts keep on giving here. A City of Pittsburgh employee was hurt after a plumbing fixture failed, causing a toilet explosion. A plumber interviewed for this story said it isn't out of the ordinary for a toilet to, quote, explode.
Yes, it is out of the ordinary. It is out of anything that is
Apparently,
ordinary.
if you work for the city.
For the toilet, government toilets,
oh, here
just
we go
exploding.
again.
Like, that happens. That's not uncommon.
It's just like that sometimes.
We need more funding for
Oh,
less
yeah,
exploding
that's
toilets.
the old American
yeah.
standard
it's
from
not
the
It's not out of
1950s.
It's not unusual. Give me a break. Go on.
Well, it rarely happens in residential buildings, but it's more common in commercial buildings, according to this guy.
Actually.
Because the toilets work off pressure from an incoming line, not a tank in the back.
Shut up,
Thankfully-
Ryan. You don't know.
Tank in the back.
Ryan's like, that's definitely how it works. That makes
Thankfully,
sense.
the employee was able to walk to an ambulance for treatment and is currently fine, just recovering from minor non-life-threatening injuries. Annie, are you okay with knowing toilets can explode?
So wait, so this guy was sitting on it? Sitting on it? Okay.
Guy or gal, the anonymity was key here. They didn't want to embarrass him.
I think you'd probably be able to tell.
Define explode. Did the sewage just shoot him up in the air, or did the toilet
like a cartoon,
actually blow
he
up?
was sitting up on the top of a fountain of water for like 35
and he was still
seconds.
reading the newspaper. He was like, oh, what's going on?
And
I
then he
feel a
looks
little
down
high.
and he's like, whoa!
Auga.
Yoo-hoo!
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Pussitter.
I don't know.
The city government guy walks in and he's like, oh, yeah, that's a classic case right there.
Happens all the time.
Sitting on top of a crap
You
fountain.
got 3 union guys standing around trying to classify the ordinary nature of the thing.
We got to get some paperwork before we deal with that. Maybe
You
we
just
can get
stay
him down
right
first.
there, sir.
Yeah, you
You're
stay
form a
right there.
committee.
How does he even have a newspaper?
Everyone's saying that sounds like your bidet.
bidet is a cleaning agent.
It's not the way you made it sound the first time you talked about it.
Skyline chili flavored ice cream.
Yeah.
Two Ohio favorites. Ohio-based ice cream brand Greater Ice Cream announced that its newest flavor, Skyline Spice, is a collaboration with Cincinnati Skyline Chili. This wacky yet wonderful creation combines Grater's handcrafted French pot ice cream with oyster crackers and Skyline's signature chili spice mix.
I could see oyster crackers not being offensive on vanilla ice cream.
Oh, yeah, kind of wafery.
It's like
salt,
you French fries and Frosties
pretzel,
or something like that.
the pretzel thing.
Wouldn't be my go-to salty, crunchy thing, but...
According to the press release, the flavor is sweet, savory, and unlike anything ice cream or chili lovers have ever tasted before. Immediately after they put this press release out, Vice President J.D. Vance tweeted, "President Trump and I will stop this."
Perfect. Spoken like an Ohioan.
Immediately after that.
Can you imagine Kamala Harris sending out a tweet that's funny like that?
Let me try real
The
quick.
answer is no. You cannot.
He's trying to imagine it.
He's going to hurt himself.
Oh, I don't think I can. I tried. I keep thinking about the fountain.
The sense of the awareness of what real people are doing and talking about, that this administration isn't detached from, where everything is so prepackaged and probably insulated from the people themselves, the president and the vice president themselves, some of the things that they put out there on social media. I mean, I don't love everything, but I don't hate it nearly as much as other people do. But just to know that they're out there with senses of humor, that they are real people aware of real people things is refreshing.
Are you okay with chili ice cream?
No.
I went to Skyline Chili for the first time last year.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought Mark Cox overhyped it.
I did too.
Well, Mark Cox has been in Ohio, and
yes, he loves this chili. Buys it frozen, eats it all the time.
Yeah, I've had Skyline chili, and it is not anything to write home about. I would prefer my husband's chili over that all of the time. And to me, it's like recently, I think Jimmy Kimmel had John Hamm and then Jason Tatum both on his show, because I saw this through it. Emos, I think, retweeted it, but they talked about Emo's Pizza, and Jimmy Kimmel was just trouncing over Emo's Pizza, and John Hamm was like, "It's the best pizza ever." And when they were describing what Emo's Pizza is, they were both kind of describing it accurately, but you just think it's good.
Very different points of view. Was it David Portnoy who came here and said some crummy stuff about emos, and then we decided we hate Barstool after that?
For a while. He did not. His review of emos is very funny and interesting, because you would expect it. People don't come here like Emo's Pizza it's like getting a McDonald's cheeseburger. When you're like, I really want a great cheeseburger, you don't go to McDonald's to get a cheeseburger, but you might want a McDonald's cheeseburger. It's like its
specific
own thing that has this very small intersection with the food group that it comes from, but it's a different thing. It's a different experience.
That's true.
Emo's Pizza is the same
that's a really good
to
point.
pizza as that kind of analogy.
There'll be times where we'll say, "Oh, you want to get pizza?" And my wife's like, "No, but let's get Emo's."
Yeah.
And she will say that without thinking you know what you're saying.
And you're still
right?
ordering pizza from Emo's.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's a special kind of thing, and you like it. I love Emo's Pizza. To me, the secret is, like, whatever topping you get is just to order extra cheese. But if you get extra cheese and pepperoni, which is what my kids generally eat, it's fantastic. But it's not like, do we want Emo's Pizza or Papa John's? We love going to Joe's Pizza. They have deep dish pizza in several places around on the east side. I think it might be I don't know if they're in Missouri, but they're great too. Like if you want a deep dish Chicago style pizza, Joe's has got great pizza. But when you go to Emo's, it's because you wanted Emo's. And when you see people like outside of that discussing Emo specifically, they're discussing it in the context of pizza. And I'm always like, but that's not the thing here. I don't know if Skyline Chili is the same thing in Ohio. Like if they would qualify it that. I don't like Skyline chili. It's not the kind of chili that I want to have.
I know it's not around here as much, but whenever we're like in the summer, especially kids, you want to go get ice cream. Sometimes you're like, no, I want Skyline chili. That's kind of what you're saying, right?
All right.
That's pretty much all the good stuff I got.
That's it?
That's fine.
We could talk about other stuff. I mean, I've got a story about somebody walking a suspension line between hot air balloons.
Ew.
I know.
No,
Yeah.
I don't need to do that.
It kind of goes downhill more so than it did.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about our favorite shirts. How's
Okay,
that?
sounds
That
good.
is our Spirit Day item for the day. We're wearing our favorite shirts. And I'm here to say that Ethan told me that I'm not even wearing a shirt. I can explain more on the other side. If you want to donate to our Lutheran Elementary School Association fundraiser cause, we've got about a little over $5,000 left that we need to raise. We are inching our way towards $10,000 total. Please consider giving to this. lesastl.org/Annie. Ryan and I have, I guess, made a wager of some kind with you. If you get there, we'll discuss that again when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
CiviaLaw.com. Have you established what is going to happen to your assets, to your estate? What if you have children that are minors? What's going to happen to them? Would you like to turn over all of those decisions to be managed by the state? I don't think you do. And you are one phone call away from making sure that everything that you want to have happen is going to be decided by you. You just have to call Todd Civia of Civia Law and stop putting this off. It's time to make the phone call. If you can't do the appointment right now, get the appointment on the books and get this process started, because when you sit down with Todd Civia at Civia Law in Missouri and Illinois, in 2 weeks from the time you sit down, you can have your documents completed, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. That peace of mind is priceless. 833-995-WILL. That's the number to call. Like I said, he is on the Missouri side and the Illinois side of the river. Todd Civia is the guy you want. He's who helped my husband and I put together our estate. You can work with him as well. 833-995-WILL. Hit him up online at civialaw.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. It still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, I'm Officer John Van Gordon, recruiter with the Springfield Police Department. We are currently looking for driven, qualified, and team-oriented citizens to become the next generation of community-minded servants here in Springfield. Our salaries and benefits are paid from day one. Plus, right now, new recruits are eligible to receive a $5,000 hiring incentive, and experienced officers looking to transfer are eligible for $10,000. To learn more, visit GoSPD.com. That's GoSPD.com.
Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how you could build your retirement on your terms. Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour Saturday mornings at 6 here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as a St. Louis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 5-star Google reviews, reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
I like today's poll question because you really could just project what you thought you were in high school if you wanted to. It's who were you in high school? Were you cool? You could say you were.
Poser is not one of the...
Nerd? Yeah, you can't say poser. You got to pick one of these. Cool, nerd.
We're just going to say anyone who said they were cool. We'll just say...
I was cool. Yeah, right, buddy. Shy, loner, or clown. Those are your options. We're going to discuss this in a minute. Now is the time to get your vote in. It's 2:46. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon. Very few answers, a lot of allegations when it comes to the crash at Reagan National last night. John Reed, who's a local veteran pilot, aviation journalist, going to join us at 3:25. We also have the Kash Patel hearings on Capitol Hill, and our own Eric Schmidt was a big star in those. We'll have audio and details all coming up after Fox News at 3.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Okay, we are approaching the $10,000 mark. I have an actual definitive number on the scholarship, and getting to that 5-digit number is pretty exciting. We have $9,636 raised so far.
Ooh.
So we need less than $400 to round the day out at $10,000.
Well, it's like $370 or something like that.
$364.
$364. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, somebody just donate $364.
Go ahead.
Do it.
You.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's my wallet?
Take it out of your wife's
Yeah, out of her allowance.
We're raising money, of course, for the Lutheran education for area kids, and just got another $25, so subtract that. I really am excited to get as close as we can to $15,000. If we come up just short, then Ryan doesn't have to cut my hair, which will be something to behold.
How about if we come up just short, I'll do 3/4 of an inch.
No, that's not how we're going to do it.
Okay.
We have made a deal. If we get to $15,000 by the end of the show tomorrow, which means we're going to have to raise just over $5,000 in a day. So we're going to need, we've had people donate $1,000 already. We're going to need a few of those potentially to make this happen. But if we get to $15,000, there is a $10,000 match waiting for us at that mark, and then we'll have a $25,000 scholarship endowed that will benefit and bless local kids and their ability to access Lutheran education. So happy School Choice Week to you. The YouTube live chat poll, I want to talk real quick before we discuss our favorite shirts that we wore today, is who were you in high school? I only get 4 options, so I have cool, nerd, shy/loner, and clown. Ryan, who were you in high school?
I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that between cool, nerd, shy, loner, and clown, I was shy. Just kidding.
I was busy trying to do something else.
That is how I indicate that I was a clown. I haven't changed a whole lot. I have not grown as a person, is what I'm saying. And I actually lobbied. So my graduating class was about 450 people. And it was between me and one guy. We were both going for class clown. And we actually kind of like ran for it.
Was that your title?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
You got class clown?
Yeah. And then he and I ended up writing stand-up together later, which is kind of cool. But yeah.
Just in a constant effort to overcome the other one and being the best clown?
I'm not really sure why we wrote stand-up together. We clearly weren't successful.
Look, you're a professional funny man.
That's true, but he's not.
I don't know where you perform, but yeah, you do okay for yourself.
It's certainly not here.
Do you think that people truly, like, what percentage of people thought you were funny and what percentage of people thought you were annoying?
100% of the people that I was around, I thought I was shy.
There's a lot in there.
So
what
I
about
think
your
that
teachers?
probably answers your
Did
question.
you have any teachers who just didn't appreciate your humor?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But
the ones, you know what's funny though? The ones that did, we really had great classes. Like if it takes that person who's willing to let go of the reins of the class a little bit and not lose control of it, but still allow there to be creativity. Yeah. And I had some really good teachers that were good about that. The ones who were like running a real tight ship, I don't think they liked me very much.
Another donation came in at lisastl.org/Annie, Lisa with an E, LESASTL.org/Annie. And it came in from Mary, and it says that my Lutheran parish is blessed to have an elementary school attached to it, and I so wish my grandchildren could have attended all 8 years there, hoping my small contribution here will bless another grandparent who would love to have his or her grandchild receive a Christ-centered, excellent, classic education in one of the local Lutheran schools. Thank you for doing this, Annie. P.S. I love your show, and I listen to it every day. So much good common sense perspective. Thank you.
That never gets old.
No.
When somebody says they enjoy the show, listen every day, or just whatever. It's nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary, for that donation. And very, very apropos comment on Lutheran education. That's something that I know that people who are connected to it want other people to know the secret that is Lutheran education. We're just trying to not make it a secret anymore. LisaSTL.org/Annie. Brad, cool, nerd, shy loner, or clown? Shy and loner are kind of like outwardly the same thing, but not the same thing.
Yeah, I was the shy loner category, and I would say I would lean more shy and less loner. Wasn't that
nerd?
Cool? Wasn't that cool? No, shy, not nerd. But I didn't. You know, I had a very small group of friends. I wasn't very outgoing. I wasn't standoffish, but I just was kind of shy.
I'll let you guys guess what I would vote myself as. Brad, what do you think I was?
What you would vote yourself as? Because I don't think what you would vote yourself as and what you actually were the same thing.
Okay,
Ooh.
well, you can explain that.
Ooh, okay.
I think that you would have voted yourself as shy because I think that you are an introvert and that is your nature.
Agreed.
But I also think that your classmates liked you and you would have been considered cool.
Ethan, what do you think?
No.
Define cool.
Oh, no.
Define
I think
cool.
you'd say you were shy, but you were actually pretty cool.
Why are you saying oh no to that?
Because I don't like it.
Well, it's
like
not
a
your turn yet.
three-sport athlete.
You hush. Four.
Four.
Ethan, what do you think? How would I vote? Or do you just second one?
I mean, I was shaking my head the entire time that Brad was talking. I think that you would say that you were shy because you were modest and you were respectable, but I think that you probably...
Were you vomiting over there?
But
Ryan turns to the side and goes,
Oh, man, that was rough. I think I can get through the next 3 minutes, but it is not going to be easy.
All right, Ryan.
I think you're a nerd and you voted dork.
It's not an option. It's not an option, Ryan.
Ryan was a bully.
Ryan.
That wasn't on here.
Ryan, it's not an option.
That's what I would have picked, though.
You definitely would vote for yourself having been shy/loner, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
You're all right.
Yes. Yeah.
But you think I was
Oh, I'm
shy/loner?
just stopping there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nothing,
I'm not going further.
Nothing to add. Totally.
Nope.
Totally shy/loner.
Which is funny because you're not really shy, but you are like in social situations, you're not going to be the one who just walks into a room and gets attention either.
I would rather speak on a stage to 20,000 people than walk into a room with 20 people that I have to make small conversation with over and over and over again. I can do it, and I don't mind doing it, but I prefer the stage and my couch.
If Ryan ends
She
up
wants the
cutting,
spotlight is what she's
if
saying.
you end up cutting her hair tomorrow, all eyes will be on her everywhere that she goes.
My favorite shirt I'm wearing right now is a white quarter zip, and it's my Disney Vacation Club shirt. It's my favorite thing that my family and I have decided to invest in for memories that we create with my family. And I have also decided quietly as a New Year's resolution to stop being ashamed of liking Disney. And when I talk about it, I talk about it. And if you don't like that, and that's why you stop listening to the show, then I don't think you've really ever understood who I am and what I stand for to begin with. But I love this sweater, this quarter zip. And Ethan, you told me this wasn't a shirt.
It's not a shirt.
It's a shirt.
It's a jacket,
It's
which
not
is
a
not
jacket.
defined
I'm not
as
wearing
a shirt.
anything under it.
It's a quarter. Okay. that doesn't mean that it's not a jacket. It means you're just not wearing a shirt on under it. That's a quarter zip
it's a
jacket.
Shirt. It counts as a shirt.
Thank you. Your favorite shirt, Ryan?
My favorite shirt I'm wearing right now. I didn't know this was happening, but I like it.
You always count on Ryan to lean in. You want to talk about it? You're just going to dance.
Nope.
We're running out of time.
It says Patriot AF because I am part of the Annie Frey show. AF, Annie Frey.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's all it means.
That's all it means. And it's a pretty nice design.
Ethan, real quick, your favorite shirt?
I'm wearing my favorite shirt from Ron John right now. On the back, there's an astronaut holding an American flag on the moon.
My favorite shirt.
Whoa! Oh my God!
He just ripped his shirt off. He's wearing a Hulkamania tank top.
Did you know that was coming?
No, I didn't know that was
happening.
I almost didn't get to it.
What the heck?
Forget it. Who were you in high school, Brad? You were cool.
What's the results quick now?
30% cool, 15% nerd, 44% shy loner. High fives all around. 11% clown. Ethan, sorry I took that from you, but
it's whatever.
I will come back tomorrow. $15,000. LisaSTL.org/Annie. Help me out, folks.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America. After a few years, these wholesalers decided to change the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history, rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert